On a University football Saturday, the Calgary Dinos roll into Regina, and they hope that Xavier Vaillancourt will be next in a long list of great Calgary Dinos QBs. He gets his first U Sports start tonight. On the other side, a fourth career start for Bryden O'Flaherty as both teams turn to new quarterbacks, both looking for their first win on the Canada West Football Showcase. Mosaic Stadium here in Regina, Saskatchewan is where we find you for week 3 in the Canada West as the university football season rolls on. Friday night, big fireworks in the Canada West as the Alberta Golden Bears upset the number 3 ranked Saskatchewan Huskies at Griffith
Calgary, so let's see if that guarantee holds up.
Two offenses that have struggled through 2 weeks of the season, and for Calgary, they're going to look at Gob Dang to reignite this passing game and be somebody that a young quarterback can lean on.
Definitely. He did that last week against UBC out on the West Coast. Has a real vertical threat to his game, can beat you for 6 quick, as you're going to see right here, going down the middle of the field on a deep post route. This guy has some intriguing potential and upside. If he could just get some consistent quarterback play, I think this guy has the capabilities of being an all-star pass catcher in the Canada West.
Rams have always been known for having a high-firing passing attack and a good offense, but through 2 weeks, they've struggled. Just 2 touchdowns on offense. How do they get going and reignite things today?
Really, you want to see Deshaun Mims, who has all the capabilities of being a legit #1 receiver in Canadian university football, be consistent. We've seen it through the years with him. He can make spectacular plays that jump out on the end of season highlight reel or even week to week, but at times he drops some passes that are easy ones. So what the Rams are looking for from Mims is to be that consistent guy who you know can help you move the chains, can get vertical, but most importantly, catch that football. We need to see that from Mims to become a legit star in Canada.
Through 2 weeks, 10 catches for 175 yards for Deshaun Mims, so we'll keep an eye out on him. But as we mentioned off the top, 2 young quarterbacks are getting a shot to play here today for both the Rams and the Dinos. And for more on that, we welcome in Matt Young, who's down on the sidelines. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Darren. Justin, of course, you touched on the starting quarterbacks right off the top, and I think if you were to look at these 2 quarterbacks, the matchup, I think you could say, is intriguing. Certainly 2 new faces under center for both teams. Let's start with the Regina Rams. Noah Pelche is out, got a bit banged up last week against Saskatchewan, hurt his hip, so in is Bryden O'Flaherty. He did see some limited action in week 1 against UBC earlier this season, and expect perhaps a different playbook package for him, as Mark McConkey says he's more of a pocket passer. On the other side, both Dom and Ben Britton are out. We're going to have more on that coming up later on, but in at quarterback for the Calgary Dinos is Xavier Vaillancourt. He's somebody that came out of Rocky View High School in Cochrane, Alberta, and in one season threw for over 3,100 yards, so he can certainly whip the ball as well. We got a good matchup here at Mosaic Stadium. We got the Rams and the Dinos set to clash here on College Football Saturday, Canada West TV. We got kickoff coming up.
stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
Beautiful look inside Mosaic Stadium in Regina. Sunny and warm this afternoon, but it wouldn't be an afternoon in Saskatchewan without a little wind, Justin. 27 kilometers an hour may be a factor here today as the Rams and Dinos meet for the first and only time here in the 2023 season. The Rams last year took both meetings against Calgary. Dinos will look to flip the script on that today as you look at Wayne Harris, 9th season as the head coach of the Calgary Dinos, and a little different demeanor, a little more relaxed Wayne Harris, because he knows his group is trying to find the next cycle and work forward, and it's more about development, and Wayne Harris hopes that can start here today. Mark McConkey on the other side, the reigning Canada West Coach of the Year, in a bit of unfamiliar territory with the Rams at 0-2. Third year as head coach for McConkey, but 8th year as his team's offensive coordinator, and he'll try and get the offense going with Bryden O'Flaherty now under center.
Indeed, it'll be a different look for the Rams with Pelche out due to injury. O'Flaherty in. He has some experience in this offense. It'll look a little different because he's more of a pocket passer, but you got a couple 0-2 teams here today that are both after it to finally get in the win column.
Look, UBC and Manitoba are also playing this afternoon, kickoff scheduled for the same time. But with Alberta now at 3-0, Thunderbirds are 2-0, the Huskies 2-1, potentially the 4th playoff spot in the Canada West, or that position is up for grabs here this afternoon.
It definitely is. I mean, if you go to 0-3 here this afternoon, you're not really controlling your playoff fate. And it seems weird to say early in the season, but remember, it's only an 8-game regular season. So essentially a must-win game here for both these teams.
The West wide open with that Alberta win over Saskatchewan. First time the Golden Bears are 3-0 since 2005. And for the Huskies, it's their first loss at home in just shy of 5 years. So anything can happen. University football here in Canada, especially out in the West. The Rams deferred the toss, and so Calgary will get the football to open this game. Aldo Galvin, who hasn't attempted a field goal in the first 2 weeks, will kick things off. He's still been busy as the team's kicker and punter. Deacon Taylor Young back to receive this kick along with Ben Dobson. And the Dinos and Rams on a Saturday afternoon are underway as it will go to Taylor Young. He bobbles it just at the goal line. Bring it up across the 15 and brought down right near the 20-yard line. And we'll get our first look at the young quarterback out of Cochrane, Alberta, Xavier Vaillancourt, a first-year quarterback. He's just 6 attempts in his Canada West career. 1 touchdown. His first career touchdown came last week.
But he has been with the program for a while, and he has a reputation that precedes him. They called him in high school the Cochrane Rifle. You don't just get those types of nicknames when you're a quarterback. You earn it with your strong arm. So let's see what he's got today.
He's 6'3", 215 pounds, and he's in the shotgun to open up the first possession of the afternoon. Vaillancourt back to pass. He's going to look up over the middle, and that's incomplete. Looking for Rowan Reed, the wide receiver from Vernon, BC. You get a look at this offense led by John Boss, the 4th-year right tackle out of Fort Myers, Florida, 17th on the CFL Scouting Bureau's fall list, leading what's a strong offensive line and a young group. On second down, the Rams bringing pressure. And that pass in the dirt out to the left is intended for Dante Carbone. And a quick 2-and-out as the Rams bring 7 on second down.
It looked like Vaillancourt just a little timid on both of those passes. You need to step into it with authority right from the jump. But you can understand it. It's his first career start. Perhaps a little bit of sign of nerves there.
Emmett Stedman, the third-year receiver, punt returner for the Rams, standing back at the Regina 41-yard line. This kick into a bit of breeze. Stedman bobbled it for a second. Now bounces to the outside and has room. Flag on the play.
Flag down, flag down.
Within plus territory for Emmett Stedman.
Whose flag was that?
As the Rams offense will make their way onto the field for the first time today. It's a holding call against the Rams, so that will bring them back a little bit to start this game. Bryden O'Flaherty, the fourth-year quarterback out of Calgary, gets the start for the Regina Rams. His third career start and first since 2021. All time, 52% on 110 passing attempts, 614 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
I remember we talked to him before that start against Calgary, and he really wanted to show the Dinos program what they were missing because they didn't recruit him at all in their hometown university.
Marshall Erickson takes the first carry on the ground. He makes a great move, and he's got room up across the 50. Inside the 35-yard line, down to the 30. So that's a 35-yard carry for Marshall Erickson on the first play from scrimmage for the Rams.
Welcome to the ball game, Mr. Erickson. Cuts back against the grain. So smooth, this kid. They got high hopes for him, and then throws in a little spin move at the end. That's a swaggy, drippy run from Erickson, who's going to get the first quarter and the third quarter. We'll see Savard in the second quarter and likely the fourth, but things could change if Erickson keeps running the rock like that.
So first down for the Rams, and why not give the ball back to him? He's got room on the left side, and he'll be met in the hole by Owen Porcue and brought down. The Rams turn to Erickson and Olivier Savard in the backfield with Christian Katende out for the season, suffered an injury last week, so he'll sit down and opens up some room for the other two backs to get an opportunity. And there's Deshaun Mims, 175 yards on the season for the third-year slot back. Behind an offensive line that's starting to gel now for the Rams in week 3. Second down, play action for O'Flaherty. Flips that across and finds Bennett Stusek. And now a decision for Mark McConkey, and it's an easy one. He'll bring out Aldo Galvin to attempt his first field goal of the season.
Kind of inconceivable that that's the case for Galvin, but simple play here. They don't want to put O'Flaherty in a difficult position. Just dumps it off to Stusek to see if he can get the first down, knowing that the Rams were already in field goal range, and this could be really key for Regina to get off to a somewhat fast start.
It's a 32-yard field goal attempt. Galvin, and he's off the bar. So unfortunate for Aldo Galvin, and a good start for the Rams offense. They come away empty, and isn't that what Mark McConkey alluded to? It's just one play here, one play there, and as a result, the Rams are held off the scoreboard.
It looked like it was going to go in and just drifted to the right there. Bennett Stusek, the veteran receiver, echoed the sentiments of his head coach in McConkey as well. Said it just seems to be one play here that's really holding us back, and that was the case there on that kick from Galvin.
Now Vaillancourt hands the ball off to Nick Sua, and he's up to the 25-yard line on his first carry of the football game. The Regina Rams have had plenty of turnover on this defense, losing an all-star at every level in the secondary, the linebacking core, and this reworked defensive line. completely reworked from who started this for the Rams last season.
It's much different. I mean, we're talking about Anthony Bennett, Garth Nittig, and Tanner Schmeichel, gone. Guys that played at all-star caliber levels as well as the other guys behind them.
Ryder Varga in the linebacking core, Jackson Ford in the secondary as Vinecourt stands in under pressure and delivers that football. Caught by Matt Sibley, and he's got a first down, the first of the game.
That's the kind of throw that I like to see from a young quarterback. Field side, very far throw from the left hash all the way outside to the numbers almost. Shows me the strong arm there, the anticipation, even as he's being taken to the ground. That's a great bounce back sign after that 2 and out on the first drive.
Yeah, takes the hit at the end of the play, but stands in. First down. The pass. And that's incomplete. Gob Dang was the receiver. Matt Sibley was in coverage as well, but the young quarterback not afraid to stand in and throw the football.
He's not, especially deep down the field, but he's going to want that throwback right there because he had Dang and Sibley both breaking free. It looked like the old double post route on the backside, and the safety had jumped down on the play in Sombach. There was some wide open space there for a deep shot.
Second down. Calgary, and a little movement up front on the right side of that offensive line. Our referee this afternoon is Alan Laird, and he'll give us the call.
And I had procedure. So
they're going to have a discussion about this here ahead of the second down play.
Everybody's pointing fingers. It was offense, it was defense. No, it was offense, it was defense. And the rest are like, just quiet down. Let's make the
illegal
call.
procedure. 56 Calgary. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
And it's Daniel Stefanik, the right guard, who moved early. So it'll be 2nd and 15 here.
It looks like the officials are right. We got to give them credit where it's due, right? A lot of people like to bang on the Zebras, but they got that call right. Little backwards lean there.
2nd and long. Rams bringing pressure. Vinecourt stepping up, but Chopper Hippie is there, and he'll bring him down right at the line of scrimmage. So 1 first down, but the Rams defense holds, and the punt team will come out.
You know what stands out most to me here? It's not Hippie staying in his pass rush lane. It is that swaggy Oakley visor that he's got. A little bit of smoke on it. I like it. That's a change up for him because I don't think we've seen him wear the visor before, but more to the play on the sack. Sure job of staying in his lane and not letting Vinecourt escape.
I love it. The swag early on, and you get a look at the Calgary punter, Chris McLean out of Brampton, Ontario. Top punter in the country last year, and again, a top punter this year, 4th in the country, with a 47.8-yard average through 2 weeks, and talking a little swag too.
A little trash, man.
Trash talk. But as Bryden O'Flaherty gets the start here this afternoon, since Noah Picton, was the all-time leader in passing, they've had their fair share of quarterbacks come through, and they've been bit with the injury bug. It's been really tough for that group to stay healthy and find the next guy. And it hasn't been for a lack of really talented quarterbacks that they've had on the roster.
There has been some highly touted recruits here, right? Josh Donnelly played for U18 Team Canada, right? Seb Britton was the guy they really liked. Sawyer Bittner was a transfer in from Ottawa, and he really lit a fire under this team from the standpoint of some leadership. And Noah Pellichet was a guy that they've talked up a lot. It's just been guys that have not been able to stay healthy because they've been taking a bunch of shots.
Short loss on first down.
You're right.
Second down now. Play action from O'Flaherty. The pass over the middle, deflected twice, and that'll fall incomplete. Chance for Jordan Cheesda, the free safety on this play.
Look at number 50 in the middle of your screen there, right on the mosaic sign, athletic play. Majority of the time, that's going to be a completion there, but credit Owen Porcue getting vertical, showing off the bunnies. Those are hops vertical ability, if you don't know, for the uninitiated, and tipping that pass away, man. An athletic play from a linebacker.
The bunnies. I like it. That's new.
Yeah, buddy.
Deacon Taylor Young on a really big kick from the nation's leading punter, Ronaldo Galvin. That's a big one. Another guy with a big leg, Matt Young, is down on the sidelines. Matt?
Yeah, guys, of course, we talked about it. A new face under center for the Calgary Dinos. That's because Dom Britton, who started the first 2 weeks, is out with an injury. His non-throwing arm is in a sling. He got a bit banged up last week, and it looks like he is week to week. His brother Ben, a receiver, is also out with an injury. He's week to week as well. The two on the field together, they bring a lot of chemistry, but the Dinos are going to have to get it done without them today. They're on the sidelines. Xavier Valancourt and company are going to have to find a way to pull out a win. Guys?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Yeah, that's a big blow for the Calgary Dinos, no doubt, here on first down. Bouncing out of the first initial tackle as Nick Sua comes in, and again, change at quarterback, change in the backfield for the Calgary Dinos as well. Nick Sua is a fifth-year eligible transfer from the University of Waterloo, an Ottawa product, coming in here to Calgary. I'm pretty excited to be with the Dinos.
He is, and he wants to show CFL scouts that he deserves a shot at the pro game. It's rare to see players come from the OUA to the West Conference, especially late in their career, but Sua wants to really prove he belongs in the Canada West.
Played 25 games with Waterloo, 593 yards as that pass out to the wide side is caught by Sibley, who leads the team with 10 receptions coming into the football game. He's got his second of the opening quarter.
Valancourt just seems to have a calmness about him here. Like, I'm just going to hit my back foot on my drop and throw a deep out route there to the sideline against some off coverage for an easy first down. I like him here, flashing this arm strength early on a couple throws.
First down, Calgary now. The 38-yard line. Play action. That's sent out to the short flat. Ben Gagnon, the 6'4" slot back with the catch. Brings up second down. Short gain, but get another look at it here.
Braden Wag coming downhill, making a sure tackle. They're one of the underrated linebackers in the Rams group.
On second down, the Rams bring 5. That pass into the middle is caught, but quickly stopped. Max Paul-Chuck right there. They'll be really close to a first down.
You got to run that route a yard or two deeper to make sure you're above the sticks, and that throw from Valancourt kind of slowed his receiver down as well, and it's going to make it his decision here. 3rd and 1. Offense staying out on the field for the Dinos.
Rowan Reed's second catch of the football game. 3rd down. Calgary's 3 for 5 on 3rd down through the first 2 weeks. Valancourt under center. He's going to work to the left. Oh, and he's got the first down. Great second effort. Finally brought down by Carson Sombach and a group of Rams. What'd you call him? The Cochrane Rifles. Got the first down using his legs.
He earned that nickname himself, and he's shown that intriguing arm strength.
Unnecessary roughness, hands to the face. 3 Regina, 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
Cameron Maws, the inside linebacker, originally from Vancouver. You saw Valancourt without his helmet at the end of the play. Well, that's why.
Mama, didn't your mom tell you not to do that? Don't be roughhousing with the boys there. It's going to cost you some yards. Valancourt loses his helmet. This guy's like, nah, I don't care. I'll put it back on. Keep throwing.
First time the Dinos have been on the Rams side of midfield. And a scoreless opening quarter right from the 50. Rams are going to bring a little more pressure. Sua takes the carry to the outside. He's got some room. And a 13-yard gain for Nick Sua on the handoff, but a flag on the play might bring this one back.
Indeed, we've got a holding call on the field. Sua gets the edge, but part of the reason was you saw it flash on the outside of your screen there, a clear hold to turn the defender.
So that'll bring the first down off the board. 1st and 20 now for Calgary. The Dinos offense has struggled, just 24 points through 2 weeks of the season offensively. And just twice have been in the red zone. But now another carry. This time even more room. And back-to-back 13-yard carries for Nick Sua. This one should stand.
All right, Nick Sua, I see you, bro. The athleticism gets downhill, reads his block there. Great job. I want to give more love to the big fellas up front. John Boss, as you mentioned on the CFL Scouting Bureau, comes down hard, opens that lane for Sua to scoot through. A little hurdle on that run to make it a second and manageable situation.
That's a really big right side of that offensive line for Calgary. 2nd down here. Vaillancourt steps down. A pass broken up. And a great job defensively from the Rams. And Jackson Fuchs was there to break up the pass.
Fuchs is there, and Max Polischuk, his buddy, as well, to help get this ball to the ground. Initially, it looked like it could have been a catch near first down yardage, but full credit for Fuchs playing through the entire play into the whistle. I know it seems obvious, but sometimes players don't do that. So Fuchs does it and forces the incompletion.
Punt from Chris McLean. It's a short one. It'll bounce back at the 18-yard line. Finally picked up. And good punt coverage as well, but a flag at the end of the play. Couple of them fly. And we'll see how they sort this out as the Rams offense back out onto the field here. Canton Apple on the return as they discuss. One will be for no yards, and 2 late flags came in on the tackle.
Been a lot of flags early too. The rest have been busy.
Yeah, it definitely has been here early on in this football game. And this is a big game for both the Rams and the Dinos. For Regina, it feels like this program's been taking steps forward under Mark McConkey now in his 3rd year. He was the interim coach, had a great season, got that removed. Get the call here. So a couple of flags against Calgary.
There are 2 infractions on the play. No yards, 29 Calgary. That's a 5-yard penalty. Objectionable conduct, 18 Calgary. It's a 10-yard penalty. 15 yards in total penalties, first down Regina.
That's the punter, Chris McLean, the objectionable conduct call.
We saw him hyped up after that first punt, talking trash to the Rams sideline, and now he gets a little physical and costs his team some yards after a not so great punt off his foot. So you need to keep those emotions in check. That's important penalty yardage.
First down, play action here. O'Flaherty over the middle, and that's deflected in and out of the hands of Bennett Stusik. Well, Stusik was the second receiver. Mims across the middle, couldn't get a handle on it. For the Calgary Dinos, they're without 3rd-year linebacker Daniel Flanagan, a leader on that defense, not in the lineup here today. Instead, Owen Porcue, who we've heard from already, gets the start on the inside of a defense that's probably going to need to make a play or two if Calgary is going to find a way to get some wins.
Indeed, and a guy I'd be looking at is Jacob Biggs, number 3 in the back end, to potentially make that play.
Now downfield, that pass thrown up and complete. Emmett Stedman has his first of the game, 2nd of this young season, and a first down Regina.
O'Flaherty driving one in here, an intermediate throw, 2 Dinos in his face, still steps into it and Credit Stedman for going up and making a catch in traffic as well, but O'Flaherty, standing in and taking a lick to deliver that first down throw.
Rams have been able to move the ball a little bit through the air. They've struggled to get things going on the ground. Back on the ground this time, and a big hole. Erickson up across the 40. That's a gain of 16 yards. And Marshall Erickson off to a great start in the first quarter.
Indeed, he's flashed with a couple of big runs, this being the second. Great cut off the edge there, and then the burst into the open field. Dobson tracks him down, but not before Erickson can get the Rams into Dinos territory. Each time he throws, he's made the right reads. Just needs to deliver a few more accurate balls.
Pulls it down. Now looking out to his left, and that's batted down right at the line. Right in his face was Julian Alexis Leon, the outside, or the defensive end. And it brings up third down.
You mentioned it, this isn't really O'Flaherty's strong suit here on the scramble, Jill. Sort of just backing up to his left there, trying to find an open receiver. Probably better that that pass got batted down and wasn't thrown back against the grain into coverage.
So this will be a 44-yard field goal attempt for Aldo Galvin, who missed from 32 right off the upright earlier in the quarter. Oh, and they bobble the snap. Galvin now will turn down and just kick it. Heads up play, and it's going to go right through the end zone. And brought down in the end zone. Did he touch the ball before it got in there?
I think he touched it in the end zone there. That's why he needed to go get on the football. But that was a botched center holder exchange from Stusik. Looks like it was just a little wide on him, but credit Galvin. He took a little peek at the edge to see if he could get the first down running. Wasn't there. Quick kick that appears to have got a piece there of Taylor Young. Good job, he went and jumped on the ball and gives up just the single.
Turns into a single heads-up play by Aldo Galvin, so that won't go down as a field goal attempt. And now Calgary gets the football back, but it's a 1-0 game. Regina Rams with the lead.
What do we got, the Hitmen versus the Pats out here? Early season WHL action. I know you like your dub.
I like that, and we're right next door to the Brand Center where the Regina Rams play their games.
One Connor Bedard played there. I think he's about to start his rookie tournament, right?
Absolutely, getting started with his rookie tournament.
Point, ball be on the 35-yard line.
With the Chicago Blackhawks, but
You
a real
didn't think
treat.
I knew my hockey, did you?
I didn't. You shocked me with that one, but it's always fun. The further you get into the Canada West season, you can often pair a broadcast with a hockey game on the road on the Friday night, or if the game's on Friday, you stay the Saturday. Always a lot of fun, especially in October, November. This time on the ground, the handoff is to Simi Oyasoro, who has the carry, his first. No room to the outside. The defensive end, Anthony Montez Leapert, tracked him down for a 4-yard loss.
And some of these Rams defenders got to step up, right? We talked about Anthony Bennett being gone up front. He made so much noise, but Schmeckel and Nittig were key factors in taking up a lot of blocks on that defense as well. So you need some young playmakers to emerge up front.
Vaillancourt 50% in the opening quarter. Back to pass. That's to the outside to Sibley. Brought down by Jackson Fuchs right near the original line of scrimmage. And it's a 2-and-out once again for Calgary.
Vaillancourt has shown some traits here, being able to throw the ball wide, but they haven't thrown it down the field consistently yet, pretty much through a quarter in this game. The Rams playing the horizontal game, kind of stretching them out, forcing them to chip away, and that hasn't worked yet for the Dinos.
Flag on the play on the kick. Jumped on by the Dinos, but this is going to be a free possession for Calgary. Get a look at it here.
McLean, who was talking trash after that first punt. Now, you get a piece of the ball there. Jackson Sombach in. You should be allowed to have some contact with the punter, but let's see what the officials call here. That flag was right there at the contact point.
Once again, Alan Laird is our head referee as they're having a long discussion, I think, about that very point. Did he get the football first?
I believe he did. I mean, he deflected it, right? It was clearly blocked. He wasn't running into the kicker. Let's see what Laird says.
So would it be up 15?
Okay, deciding where they're going to put it.
We have 2 infractions on the play. No yards. Calgary. Unnecessary roughness, roughing the kicker. 24 Regina. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So it's a first down, Calgary, and you don't agree?
I don't know about that call. If you block the punt and you don't visibly try to launch yourself into the punter, I don't think it should be roughing the kicker. I understand that there was some contact there, but we are playing contact sport, so I think Sombach and the Rams have a case here on this call.
Well, either way, it'll be a first down, Calgary, now from the 36-yard line. In an opening quarter that has the Rams up by 1. Nick Sua's back in the backfield. Protection. The pass over the middle. It's caught by Gobdang. Across the 30 to the 20. Tiptoe. He's in. Touchdown, Calgary. "74-yard touchdown pass from Xavier Vaillancourt to Gobdang, and the Dinos with a big strike."
Vaillancourt drops it in, but what I want you to pay attention to on this catch when you see it again after the extra point is the way that Dang had to extend and go up and get that football. It wasn't thrown flatter across the field out in front of him. He had to put his hands up mid-route, have a little leap there, and continued his jaunt to the end zone, toe taps on the sideline to stay in bounds, and then dives for the pylon. That is a highlight reel touchdown. Look at this catch. Going up and getting it, doesn't break stride, then it's house call, Dang, Dinos on the board. Man, that's sexy.
And that's how we end the opening quarter here in Regina. The young quarterback, Xavier Vaillancourt, with fireworks as the Dinos lead through 1.
All right, welcome back here, guys. We got Gobdang after that touchdown. What went through your mind as the ball was in the air?
As the ball was in the air, just go get it. QB threw a perfect dime, tracked it down, kept running, scored a touchdown.
How are your ankles feeling after trying to tiptoe that sideline there?
Oh, they're feeling good now, but I was tired there, I can't lie.
All right, thanks very much for this, Scott.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Yeah, Gobdang with the touchdown reception. A 74-yard touchdown catch and run as he tiptoed the sidelines with Jackson Fuchs in pursuit for the touchdown. Through the opening quarter now for Xavier Vaillancourt, numbers look pretty good. 6 of 10, 113 yards, and a touchdown pass. That one The Dang, of course, the long one, 74 yards on the ground. Nick Sua, 19 yards carrying the football for the Dinos in that opening quarter. So Wayne Harris likes that as you try and find the next quarterback after Heck Crichton Winters and Adam Sinagra, Andrew Buckley. I mean, Josiah Joseph was a leading passer in this conference. Smiling pretty good. You might have the next one in Xavier Viancourt. So opening quarter in the books, second quarter about to begin. The Rams will get the football back. And right from, it'll go right into the end zone and out the end of the end zone. And still, Chris McLean has got the trash talk game on full blast here today.
There must be some previous beef here between McLean and the Rams, because every time he's kicked the football, except for maybe when he got that one blocked, but I guess you could argue that contact that he took helped lead to the Dinos touchdown, so he was probably still talking trash after that.
Let's get our top journalist on this. Matt, where are you on this? We got to get to the bottom of Chris McLean and the trash talk. So you got some work to do. You got your next assignment.
I like you doing your job, directing traffic. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
Let's go, Matty.
Assignment editor here this afternoon, and your lead play-by-play voice. They'll flip this football on the inside to Deshaun Mims. Got to find a way to get the football in his hands. That's one way, as he's brought down by Isaiah Smith. Get a look at the stats through one quarter of play, and the 74-yard touchdown helps those passing numbers for Xavier Viang.
And it helps the entertainment value of this game. But look at what jumps out to me. 9 minutes and 23 seconds time of possession from the Dinos. They had more first downs, obviously double in that quarter as well. So they're controlling the football. They're not going hurry up. They want to win the ball possession game and ultimately put more points on the board. 9
penalties in that opening quarter as well. As that pass to Emmett Stedman nearly jumped. It's incomplete. O'Flaherty's now 3 for 7 in the football game, 23 yards passing.
You know, you never know who you're going to see at Mosaic Stadium. I had to take my little nephew Elliot to the bathroom during the quarter break. Craig Dickinson's walking in the hallways, the Rough Riders head coach.
Oh, that.
Had a bit of a limp. I hope he heals up, but I'm sure he's probably got his eyes on this ball game, and that's what these guys got to realize, right? There's always eyes on you. Yes, there's the eye in the sky with video, but especially when you're playing here in Regina, the Rough Riders have a large presence, and they're scouting these games heavily.
A very well-liked head coach in Craig Dickinson, and he spends time around the Regina Rams program. Good relationship with Mark McConkey, and it's nice when you have, you know, the pro team in your backyard. Calgary works out of the same facility as the Stampeders. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Manitoba Bisons work out of the same facility. And when you have those relationships and the young players, you can relate to this. I mean, maybe not at Guelph, but if you were in the same facility with CFL players and to be able to have access to those practices and even just to talk to those guys, what that would do for your development.
It would help a ton, and it also gives you confidence in being able to be used to being around the pro players and what it takes to play at that level. I remember a couple times we would have scouts come by the University of Guelph, and I got really nervous. Like, I remember back when Paul Lapalisse, who's a former head coach in the CFL right now, a panelist and an analyst on TSN, he came to our camp when he was a receivers coach, I think with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And I was so nervous, man, like throwing balls all over. But just to be around those guys and getting used to that and what it takes to play the pro game can help you get to that next level.
A second down here after 4-yard carry from Nick Sua on first down. Viancourt with pressure gets that ball away fast, and it's incomplete just in front. The receiver, Roland Reed. It'll bring up third down in a punting situation again for Calgary. As we'll take a peek at the out-of-town scoreboard right now. UBC jumping out to a early lead. They're early in the second quarter now, leading the Manitoba Bisons 20-0. Elsewhere, top 10 matchups across U Sports. It was Windsor over Ottawa in a game of number 9 versus number 10, 42-31 earlier today. Western is in Queens. We'll talk about that one in a little bit. Another big game coming up on Sunday. Montreal is at Laval.
Big time rivalry matchup at Pep Stadium. They usually pack that place, get up close to 20,000 there. They probably won't announce it, but they have a bunch of standing room availability around the track there. Rouge et Or against Les Carabins.
Western leading Queens 22-11. They're early in the third quarter. Queens going to be hosting the Vanier Cup in Kingston in November. I always love that Montreal-Laval matchup. I'll be watching that one tomorrow in the afternoon. So Flaherty for Mims, a little bit behind him, in and out of his hands. Incomplete, and it'll bring up second down.
Deuce. Nate Boscheman, the safety, coming downhill there on Mims with that back-breaking hit. Ouch, you need a crack? You need to go to the chiropractor? No, just step in the middle of a football field and you get cracked out pretty good, man. That would have hurt Mims coming across the middle, making it almost impossible to catch that ball.
Second down, O'Flaherty. He's got all kinds of time over the middle, and that's nearly intercepted. And was that hauled in? Hey, Dallin Keene. Keene got it off the deflection. How about that from Dallin Keene to make the catch, as that went off the hands of Steen Rasmussen and caught by the Rams receiver.
Great concentration there from Keene, but Rasmussen's gonna be kicking himself, man. That should have been an interception, maybe potentially even going out the other way for a quick pick six, but Keene with those hands all over it, digging it out for a catch.
Just 3 receptions for Dallin Keene through the first 2 weeks. Now on the ground to Savard, and he'll move forward for a gain of 3 yards after a good opening quarter from Marshall Erickson, who on 5 carries picked up 54 yards, including that long of 33.
This was the plan, though. I talked to head coach Mark McConkey just before the game on the field, and he said that it's been scripted out this way, that Erickson was going to be the first quarter, Olivier Savard the second quarter, back to Erickson in the third, and likely Savard in the fourth. Unless somebody is really feeling it, then they might change it up.
Savard's a third-year back out of Chicoutimi, but here on first down, nowhere to go. The inside linebacker, Liam Reed, in the face of O'Flaherty. And his first sack of the season. He leads this Dinos defense in tackles, and he was untouched to the quarterback.
Reed shoots the gap there, coming in hot, and it's difficult when you're a quarterback in that situation. You got like a split second to think, am I getting rid of this ball, or am I trying to go with ball security to make sure I don't fumble it? Savard's got to do a better job in pass pro there. Reed, elusive, gets to the quarterback, and most importantly, takes him to the turf.
Injured Calgary Dino down on the field right now, getting attended to ahead of this third down play. As Aldo Galvin gets set to kick this football away. That's the defensive end, Julian Alexis Leon. He's getting off the field under his own power, which is good. Walking off. Look at Wayne Harris. I like his start so far, 7-point lead here in the second quarter. A team that, no matter what the roster looks like for the Calgary Dinos, not a team I'd be overly excited about meeting in the playoffs.
No, they're usually competitive, but he did say this is a complete rebuild, which was stunning. Almost fell off my chair at my home office when I heard that from Wayne Harris. But he's honest in the assessment of where this Dinos team is at, although he does think there's a lot of talent and upside here on the current Dinos roster. But the University of Calgary is used to winning and hosting Hardy Cups 10 straight years. You and I, partner, could just like book our flights in August to go to Calgary for the Hardy Cup semi and for the Hardy Cup final, because they host it every year. But a couple of recruiting cycles, and all of a sudden Calgary's in a much different spot in this conference. That said, they're still well respected because people know that if they put it together, they're going to be really darn tough to beat.
we were on a first name basis with the hotel staff. We had our table at the restaurant. We, you know, it was Calgary. We knew what we were going to do, what we were going to wear, where we were going to be.
15-yard penalty, first down.
Now the possibilities, are we going to the Bridge City in Saskatoon? Maybe we're going to go to the West Coast in Vancouver. We might go to Edmonton. The possibilities of this conference have opened wide up, and I don't hate it.
I don't either, and I think it's good for the conference overall that there's parity, but the Huskies have sort of overtaken as that team to beat, and then the Golden Bears go in and beat them at Griffith Stadium.
Unbelievable. Really unbelievable, but that's what makes this so much fun. So much fun.
If somebody would have told you at the start of the season that the University of Alberta will go to the University of Saskatchewan and beat the Huskies on their home field for the first time in, what, almost 5 years, would you have believed them?
I wouldn't have. You know, it was an interesting offseason going through the Canada West and doing the homework and talking to people in Edmonton. And I'm looking at that roster, and there's a lot of playmakers here. But they can't be Saskatchewan, UBC. Can they? We've got some questions answered through 3 weeks here that, no, they can. They're right there. And you're looking for the first winning season under Coach Chris Morris.
Very impressive start. They're going to enter the top 10 rankings. I think probably made some voters look a little silly that they weren't there already, especially with this big win at Griffith Stadium. And Eli Hetlinger might be in that conversation to be called Eli Hecklinger, if you know what I'm talking about, for the Heck Crichton Trophy. He's played at a high level, made some big-time plays at Griffith Stadium. Now, it's only 3 games in. There's a long way to go here, but I think what you said, Darren, is on point, that it's a possibility that we can be in some different places for the Hardy Cup semifinal and the Hardy Cup final. UBC looks very strong. You could argue they have the best depth at quarterback in the entire country. And Garrett Rooker is very good, all due respect to him, but they got some dudes behind him that can throw the ball and that would start on multiple other Canadian university teams. And then the Golden Bears seemingly jumping up out of nowhere to start the season 3-0 has been a pleasant surprise in the conference.
I'll tell you, look at the top 10 across the country, and I'm looking forward to a top 10 matchup next week at UBC in Alberta. Is going to be a lot of fun out on the West Coast. So that's going to be great. We're really going to, another test for the Alberta Golden Bears as that pass, Bennett Stusek unable to dive for it as he tries to corral it on first down. But that's Alberta. They've got to go through Saskatchewan. Okay, that checked off. Now they got UBC next week. That's a big test. It's similar. We saw, 9 and 10 for a team like Windsor who just beat Ottawa 42-31. They're going to move up in the top 10, but they've got to play Queens next, who's a top 10 team, playing Western today. And then they play Western right after. These are tough schedules for top teams.
Definitely is. Windsor's an intriguing squad to watch. A lot of Americans on that team that has made them more competitive than I think a lot of people thought that they would be very quickly.
Hard hit from Nate Beauchemin over the middle on a pass that was caught by Ryland Sokol, the first-year Ram, graduate of the Regina Thunder program. He hangs on to that football, and props from my hometown, the former Wynyard Golden Bear, Ryland Sokol.
Population how many?
Give or take 1,800.
That's impressive, man. They put out some guys that have played Canada West football at a high level, and your boy there takes a pop from Beauchemin, who came down and put a backbreaker on Mims earlier in the game to separate Mims from the football, but Beauchemin can't do it to the Wynyard product there.
How about that? Yeah, and big thing with Ryland Sokol was a leader in the PFC receiving. 6'4", he's a big body, 220 pounds in the middle. As you get a look at some of the small town flavor on this Regina Rams roster, called six-man. That's six-a-side football, and that's where you learn to be an athlete. You play everywhere all over the field, both sides. Sokol, the Wynyard Bears. That population's gone down since I was there, Justin. We were 9-man program when I played, more like a 2,000 population. Now we're down to about 1,700.
The DuPont fan club left town.
I guess, right? But fun to see. He'll be a weapon, and we talked to McConkey about him, how they'll scheme to find ways to get him involved in this offense when you got a big body like that in the middle. The Rams have a first down. Savard's got the carry, trying to weave his way through. Gets past one, but Nathan Tights will bring him down, the defensive tackle, with a flag in the Rams' backfield.
It seems like almost every third snap or every snap there's a piece of laundry on the turf. Lots of flags here today, and it's probably going to be a holding penalty. You can see right at the point of attack there.
Holding, 67 Regina, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the center, McGuire Abel, on the holding call. It'll bring up first down and 20 in another passing situation likely for the Regina Rams. O'Flaherty 5 of 11 in the football game, just 54 yards. Just trying to get into a rhythm.
Indeed, trying to find it here a little bit. Just that single on the board from Galvin.
On first down, O'Flaherty's got time, now looks over the middle, settles down, finds Dallin Keene, who's got a pickup of 10 yards as we join Matt Young back down on the sideline.
Hey guys, of course, just a little while ago, you saw Owen Porku go down. He is on the trainer's table right now, and it looks like they are looking at his left leg. We'll see how he does. Meanwhile, also, Julian Alexis Leon, he had his shoulder pads off. It looks like he's putting the shoulder pads back on at least, and he is walking around under his own power. We'll see if he gets back in the game. A couple of injury updates on the Dinos, guys.
Awesome. Good stuff, Matt. Thanks for that. Anything on Chris McLean yet? No, we'll get to that.
That's what I was most curious about. I thought that was coming.
It'll come later. It's a second down and 10 here.
You know what I've noticed about the way that Calgary is playing Regina right now? Lots of guys in coverage. It seems like they're confident to just rush 4, sometimes even 3, but it's been mostly 4 that I've seen, and play coverage against O'Flaherty, who you usually and most of the time don't have to be worried about him running the football. So you can play coverage and still have guys in the box against the run, right? Because you're going to have your 3 linebackers in there if they read run and be coming downhill. But especially on that first down play, there was 8 guys in coverage. That's very difficult to throw into when you've got to fight against the numbers.
But even with that, they've still found a way to get to O'Flaherty and put some pressure on him.
Indeed, and credit the Dinos, this young front that is learning read there, high stepping, doing the LeBron celebration as well, has come and set a physical tone for this Dinos defense that has only really allowed 1 point on the day, and that was a situation where the Rams started in plus field position. So Calgary has been stout. This is kind of what we're used to seeing from the Dinos, is dominate on defense, win the field position battle, and hit some big plays down the field like we saw from Viancourt to Deng.
So O'Flaherty was down on a knee. Is he going to come out of this football game? We're going to get a look at Owen Simon's going to come in, the first-year quarterback out of Langley, BC. Is going to get an opportunity here. And it's a passing situation instantly on 2nd and 10.
If you're the Dinos defense, and I talked about how well and the way they were defending O'Flaherty, now you got a young guy coming in the game that you've never seen. There's no film on him as you take a look at the hit that forced O'Flaherty from the game, gets sandwiched there. Man, I grimace just watching that because those ones always hurt.
So now back to pass. Gonna step up in the pocket. He's got some room, tucks this football down, and smartly will go down after a gain of 3 yards, but this will be a punting situation for the Rams. And now you start to wonder what happens if Bryden O'Flaherty can't go the rest of the way.
Well, it's going to be the young kid, and you see him here. It's a difficult situation to come into. 2nd and long against a defense that is playing well and feeling it a little bit, especially in this half. But smart decision there. Doesn't force the football. Gets what he can to allow Regina to play field position game and not put his defense in a difficult position.
Short punt. Taylor Young will take it at the 31. And the Calgary Dinos held up right there. Flag coming in late on the play. His temper starting to flare a little bit. The Dinos will get the football back here with plenty of time still. over 6.5 minutes in this opening half.
We've seen a lot of the officials on TV today, not necessarily what you tuned in for, but what I do want to see more from is Vaillancourt taking shots down the field.
Yeah, Vaillancourt had the big play, 74 yards to Gob Dang. The only touchdown of the opening half. As we'll get the call from Alan Laird here. So the Dinos will start, from midfield. Vaillancourt hands the football off. Some room up the middle for Sua, a gain of 5 yards on the first down carry. As now Calgary trying to control the clock a little bit more. You saw the time of possession in their favor in the opening quarter, and good first down production on the ground.
And they've been very comfortable with just being methodical on offense, controlling the clock, taking that play timer down all the way and close to 1 second to control the pace of this game and just slow it down for the young quarterback.
Second down, another handoff to the left side. Sua will be wrapped up short of the first down. Josh White, the leader on this defense, the outside linebacker, with the stop. And Chris McLean and the punt team on, and now we watch the Calgary punter again, and who would have thought that would have been the most exciting thing to pay attention to, but I'm watching the punter to see what's he going to do next.
McLean's intriguing also from CFL potential. He's got a big leg, needs to show that he can have pinpoint accuracy on his punts.
Another flag as McLean in the middle of some contact. And we might see the Calgary offense back out on the field.
McLean again takes another shot. 2 Rams on him this time. It didn't look like there was any contact with the football there, and no, there was not at all. As you see, Jacob Kachuk flashing through there, getting a piece of McLean's leg. Looks like he's pretty upset about it too. Seems to be okay though.
Matt Young, what do you got?
Alrighty, folks, lots going on the sidelines today. We have Bryden O'Flaherty right now on the Rams sideline. He's underneath the white tent, appears to be talking to one of the athletic trainers. He was walking around on the sidelines under his own power. He's right now just sitting on a chair, doesn't seem to be pointing to any particular part of his body. He doesn't look like he's in a lot of pain, but folks will continue to monitor that as this situation unfolds. Guys?
Appreciate that, Matt. First down for Calgary on the contact with the punter, and back into plus territory with a 7-point lead, looking to add to it. Been a quiet opening half. I mean, at times that pass up over the head of Matt Sibley. I was going to say a quiet opening half for Gob Dang. I'm like, that's not true. He had the 74-yard touchdown catch, but the volume hasn't been there. He got 7 passes last week for 160 yards and a couple of scores. Probably want to get the ball in his hands a little more.
Definitely, and I think they're trying to scheme it up, but I think I know what you mean by quiet. It's like he's been quiet, had one big flash bang, like a kid freaking out or saying, hey, look at me. And then other than that, he's been quiet, but he showed you his game-breaking ability, and that's the reason why on any given snap, you gotta watch 85.
Vaillancourt and whistles and flags, early movement, and they'll shut this play down. And that should back them up a little bit. Well, no, it's going to go against Regina. So interesting that they didn't let the play continue.
Offside, Regina number 98, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Michael Clow, the defensive end.
Usually the offense likes getting the free play there, but sometimes they will blow it dead if they feel like a defender's got a free path to the quarterback because they don't want him taking a big-time shot on a play that was actually a penalty. So I don't mind that call there to stop the play.
They announced Michael Cloud, but we saw 29, Brandon Wong, coming in as Vaillancourt's going to step up on the play. Oh, and he takes a hard shot right end of it. Scampered ahead for 9 yards, and that's the second time we've seen the quarterback with the helmet pop off.
Indeed, and that was a little bit scary. When you pull that ball down, you become a runner, and you got to watch out. Guys from all angles. Vaillancourt there trying to fight for the first down, gets spun around by Ma, and then it's Sombach coming in with that shoulder that popped the helmet off, and that's what's going to draw the flag there from the officials.
So another long conversation. Sheldon Gray and this defensive coordinator of the Regina Rams looking for an explanation. He thought
unnecessary roughness, roughing the passer, 24, Regina. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down, number 24 has been ejected from the game.
so. Sombach has been ejected from the football game. And a little disbelief from Sheldon Gray. That's one of your leaders on defense. Mark McConkey wants an explanation here, and so does Jackson Sombach. But he's a leader on the secondary, especially with Jackson Ford no longer with the Rams and now in the Canadian Football League.
That's the kind of play that you want to make a statement on in terms of getting out of the game, right? I think that's why Sombach has been thrown out of here, as much as the Rams aren't going to like it, as much as Sombach doesn't want to go to the showers there. The officials have to put their foot down and say safety is paramount in the Canada West, and we will not stand for having these hits in our games.
So Ethan Mather, the third-year halfback, drawing in now on defense with Sombach out.
It's difficult, though, because from Sombach's perspective, you're looking at a runner in the open field who's not down on the turf yet, and you're trying to come in and make sure he's down, because who's to say that Vaillancourt doesn't spin away from Ma and then take it for a touchdown, right? That's the difficulty that defenders have been put in, and I think it's important to present both sides here. How the Dinos view it, how the Rams view it, and then our unbiased side from up in the booth, because I can understand why he's frustrated, right? He's going to say to the officials that I got to make sure this guy is down on the turf, otherwise he could take it for a touchdown and our team's behind even more in this game. So I didn't necessarily think it was vicious, and he's not expecting Vaillancourt to get spun around by Ma to have him in that type of position where the shoulder could actually hit to the head. He's anticipating something totally different, and at least he's not leading with his head, right? He's leading with his shoulder, which we want to see more and more from defensive players.
Well, now the job for Mark McConkey and Sheldon Gray is to settle this Rams team down and not let this get away from you. It's only a 7-point game in the first half, and there's a great job. Good response from the defense, and Braden Wagg, the fifth-year outside linebacker, and one of the leaders on this defense with the stop on Nick Sua.
You know, you mentioned it's only a 7-point game, but it feels like the lead is just so much more. But if you're the Rams, that's actually a positive in this first half, and the defense comes up with a play for their boy who just left the game in Sombach to force a big second and long situation. Josh White, the captain of this defense, and arguably the entire team, one of the true leaders that Regina has, comes up big on the play.
That's Wagg and White, the two fifth-year outside linebackers. If you want anybody to step up, that's who it should be. And now another set of flags.
Wagg was coming scot-free downhill with speed off the edge. But let's see who this call is on, because it's another one of those. No, it was the guy across from me on offense, defense. It was you, bro. I'm telling you, you jumped. The official sorting it out.
Typically when the play's blown down, it's on the offense. Somebody jumped, unless it's going to be a free shot on the quarterback.
Except for the last time that we saw.
But the last time, you know, usually when the defense jumps, you get the free play. That's why you have the long conversation here.
And that's what you want as a quarterback. It looked like there was some movement there on the right side of the offensive line. John Boss, slightly early. You know, there's been a lot of talk about this in the NFL. Jawan Taylor, the right tackle with the Chiefs, moving a little bit before the snap count, and they're letting it go.
Calgary, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That doesn't happen here in the Canada West. We call offsides proper in Canada.
That's the CFL prospect, John Boss. That right side of that offensive line.
He is a boss on that offensive line. He is a big presence. As you said, coming up from Florida.
John Boss and Daniel Stefanik, the right side of that offensive line, is gigantic as this pass complete. And a touchdown for the Calgary Dinos. Ben Gagnon in the end zone. Calgary extends the lead.
Let's think about the situation. Do you know what the down and distance was there? 2nd and 21, okay? We're getting close to the end of the first half. Your defense needs to come up and be able to make a tackle there. Poor angle. Gagnon takes it to the house real quick for his young quarterback, and I really like how Vaillancourt has gone about this in a methodical way in the first half.
Big plays pacing the Calgary Dinos to a 14-point lead over the Rams. There it is again. Gagnon, and he steps right in front of Braden Wagg, who is back in coverage. Tried to step down. And waltzes all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
It shows you in the Canada West. You take one wrong step, and the opposing offense can take it to the house in an instant. That's exactly what happened there with Wagg. Came downhill, took one wrong step. Gagnon makes the catch, and he's in the end zone. But credit Vaillancourt, the young quarterback, standing in on 2nd and very long on the road with a decent crowd here at Mosaic Stadium and putting between the 8 and the 2. An absolute dart for his second TD throw of the first half.
Calgary seems to have found their mark here and got some confidence in a young quarterback in Vaillancourt. Shown an ability to sling it here.
And the Dinos are looking for that next guy, right? We're used to seeing Andrew Buckley throw a bunch of yards. Adam Sinagra put up gaudy statistics and win a Heck Crichton Award. We're used to seeing that from the Calgary Dinos, and they're trying to find that next guy. And I'm not saying that Vaillancourt is this yet, but he's wearing that number that Sinagra used to wear, number 12. So it looks somewhat familiar when you have a quarterback wearing Dinos colors and that number 12 slinging it a little bit all over the park.
Let's hand it off to Matt Young down on the Calgary sideline.
Gagnon, did you expect to get the ball on that touchdown play?
No, I did not expect to get it. I thought my buddy was going to get it. I was setting the rub for him, but I'll take it. Big play.
Saw the daylight up the middle and thought you could get there.
Well, the ball was there when I looked, so hey, I'll just go run into the house.
There you go. Thanks so much for this.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Now a pass over the middle, almost intercepted, and then almost into the hands of Deshaun Mims on the first down pass. You get a look at Owen Sieben, who's the quarterback into the game with Bryden O'Flaherty out. Sieben's a freshman quarterback out of Langley, BC, 6'3", 185. He was recruited by Simon Fraser. Obviously, that program now no longer. Had some interest at some other U.S. schools that ultimately cooled off, and now finds his way at the University of Regina. And he's rolling out here on second down, looking to pass. Slings this deep for Mims. He's got it! Up across the 45-yard line. How about that throw?
All right, young kid, we see you on the full roll to his right, which is very comfortable for a right-handed quarterback, being patient, eyes down the field the entire time, knows where the sidelines are, pulls up and drops an absolute dime to Mims on the sideline. Big-time play. The Rams needed that young quarterback energy. Sieben, ooh boy, might have found one here. Let's see if he can keep it going.
A 39-yard completion to Deshaun Mims for Owen Sieben. Now play action. Pumps, looking deep again for Stedman. He's got that one too, inside the 10.
You know, sometimes you just get a feeling about players, and it felt like the way that Sieben looks athletically when he's into the game in a situation that isn't second and long when he's called off the bench, looks comfortable. Pump fake to the strong side, adjusts his eyes, left all the way back right, finds Stedman quickly and drops it in the bucket. That is very difficult to do. Readjust your eyes, find a receiver streaking down the sideline and put it on the money. This young kid feeling it on this drive.
39 yards, that one 33 yards. Rams in the red zone for just the third time this season. And see if the young quarterback can cash him in. Play action again. He'll flip this outside for Stusik. He'll turn back, and just a short gain of a couple of yards for Bennett Stusik. But again, under pressure, and quarterback looked pretty poised.
Sometimes all it takes for a team to get behind a young quarterback or a new quarterback is a burst of energy. And I think we potentially saw that on that throw down the field to Mims on the sideline, and then again to Stedman to get this offense going that had been trying to find its way in the first half of this game. An unlikely guy to do it because O'Flaherty got the start, but Sieben was highly recruited by this Rams team, and they feel like he's got a lot of potential.
My apologies, Rams' fifth time in the red zone, 2 for 4, 2 touchdowns. As that pass caught for the touchdown. And Bennett Stusik has it. And the Rams answer the Calgary touchdown with one of their own.
Look at Sieben fired up. Finds the easy out route from Stusik for a touchdown just inside the goal line. Kind of got lost in coverage there, but full credit to Sieben on the drive. Deep strike to Mims. Hits Stedman streaking down the sideline after he pump fakes to the strong side, comes back on second down in the red zone. Money ball to Stusik for a touchdown. The kid finding a rhythm quickly.
His first full possession at quarterback results in his first touchdown pass to the veteran Bennett Stusik.
Not bad, kid. He might have a future in the Canada West.
Pretty good. His first possession, we write that one off. He came in, one play,
second and 10.
Didn't throw the football, and you're off the field. But first possession, how about 39-yard completion, 33-yard completion, your first career touchdown pass to a good receiver in Bennett Stusik.
And it looked like, based on the footage we saw earlier in this quarter, with O'Flaherty under that tent, that he's probably in protocol there. So it's probably Sieben's game the rest of the way here, and he's given his team some juice.
It's the right tackle, Connor Clausen, the former Regina Thunder offensive lineman that was shaken up on the play.
That is a big man, and I know he's a bad man because he's got that horse collar on. You ever see dudes with that on? That means they are physical, man.
It does, doesn't it? Whew. I couldn't have explained it any better. I mean, that's what the horse collar tells you without needing to tell you anything. As Aldo Galvin looks up, checks, and extra point is blocked. No room there. Is getting right through. Was blocked. So an 8-point Calgary lead. But when it was an earlier Calgary lead, we'll get a look at the touchdown here first.
Look at the look behind Sieben. You can see him scanning to the strong side of the field there, going through his reads, sees Stusik pop open. Zoom. Touchdown. Easy little seed ball. Stusik, who we talked about early in the game, and he said, you know, we're just one play away here, one mistake there from this offense, finding a rhythm. Well, they might have found it from an unexpected place in Sieben, as you see the extra point blocked. And he's fired up, Stusik is. He really believes there's a lot of potential still on this Regina Rams roster, even though they've had a bunch of turnover, especially on defense. And you can see that veteran leadership coming through.
Talked about it was a 7-point Calgary lead when you said it feels like it's just stretching and stretching. We saw Jackson Sombak get ejected. Penalties were piling up, right? It feels completely different after that last drive. Completely different.
Football can change in an instant, and Sieben has done that for the Rams.
Let's join Matt Young downstairs once again.
All right, guys, here with Bennett Stusik. So how did that play unfold? Did you say anything to Sieben in the huddle?
Yeah, it's a play we've been working on all week. Kind of based off some of our other plays and got the good coverage for it, and Owen just threw a really nice ball.
How does it feel to catch a touchdown pass from the young kid?
Hey, I'm just happy for him. Like, he's a unbelievably talented kid. Like, we always say we have the deepest quarterback room in the country, and you can see Owen's our third, and he might be one of the most talented kids. So just happy for him. First of many for him.
All right, thanks very much, Ben.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Matt. Deepest quarterback room. That's a big statement, but your third quarterback's getting it done like that. I mean, small sample size.
Yes, small sample size, and the Dinos defense hasn't seen him very much at all, right? There's no film on this kid at this level, which certainly gives him an advantage. But hey, you have to take advantage of that, and he's certainly shown that, at least, as you said, on his first full drive, where he didn't come on the field cold off the bench in a 2nd and 10 situation, that he can play at this level, especially from a speed standpoint. It doesn't look like the game is too fast for him.
So this makes things really interesting as we sit just inside 90 seconds to halftime. Calgary's going to get the football back. Bounces down, across the 30. And room on the outside. Finally, the tackle was made by Jacob Dekinowicz. And Calgary will come back out here after a touchdown drive on their last possession. Xavier Vaillancourt's having himself a pretty good opening half.
Indeed, 2 touchdown strikes through the air, relatively long ones as well. Of course, that deep shot to Dang was the standout TD toss that he had. Very methodical approach here from Vaillancourt. I like what he's shown here in the opening 30 minutes.
50% passing, 143 yards through the air, and a couple of touchdowns. And he'll pull this down with 2 Rams in front of him. Finds Matt Sibley, cuts back to the middle, and has a gain of 13 yards on the first down catch.
The Dinos going to go hurry up here. You see Vaillancourt flashing the signals for the next play. The Dinos have 2 timeouts. Sibley probably should have tried to get out of bounds there and save some time, but the Dinos on the ball before the whistle's blown in.
Now to the outside. Back to Sibley again, back-to-back receptions. And he's got another 14 yards on the grab. But penalties have been such an issue, but we're going to look at this reception from
Sibley running the deep out route, and Vaillancourt putting it out there with ease and really picking apart this soft coverage on the outside from the Rams in the first half.
Carry is to Sua. Right into the middle of that Rams defense. 9 penalties in the opening half and starting to pile up, especially on the Regina side.
Definitely 12 for 130, and you're only down 1 score. Imagine if the Rams had been under control, right? Because there's been some uncharacteristic penalties there that were well within their control.
Injured Ram down on the field, getting looked at. But you're right, 130 yards. We're not even at halftime. And that's too many penalties for a game.
Definitely,
like
it would be.
Anthony Montez Leaper, the defensive end, getting some help up and able to walk off. The Calgary, 57 seconds before the half, trying to put some points on the board here.
And 2 timeouts. And you've got a guy in McLean who has some leg to him that could attempt a long field goal. They're trying to make it short or perhaps even get in the end zone here. There's enough time for all of those things to happen.
2nd and 7, sorry. Back to pass. Vaillancourt, the left side, finds Gob Dang, and he's got the first down. So that'll extend the drive. 47 seconds on the clock.
Vaillancourt's looking really comfortable. Again, picking apart this off coverage on the outside to Dang. Gives him an opportunity to try to run after the catch, but the Rams rally to the football.
Vaillancourt carries this football himself on first down. Puts the ball down, brings up second down after really no gain on first down. Just a couple of rushing attempts for Vaillancourt. A quiet 8 yards on the ground. So you get a look at Jabari Arthur, the offensive coordinator for the Calgary Dinos.
You can't miss him in that yellow, what do we call him, that spring coat that he's got going on there. Always looking fly.
I'm not. I like Jabari a lot. I was going to say, reminds me of a crossing guard at the school, but.
Yeah, but you want to be able to see him, right? Because he's signaling in the play.
Exactly. You got to know where he is. I was going to say he wasn't wearing that in the pregame. He had the sharp Jumpman Dinos gear on.
Ooh, that was real nice. But he's the only guy on the Dinos sideline with yellow on, so you can see who he is as he's signaling the plays in to his quarterback, the offensive coordinator and former CFL receiver.
Thing is, he can pull it off.
Definitely.
I couldn't. Vaillancourt on a second down here. Back to pass. He's going to step up. There's a flag on the play, and that's intercepted. Picked off by Justin McCarricker. The linebacker dropping back into coverage. He's got the turnover.
64 Calgary. That penalty is declined. First down, Regina.
It's a holding penalty against the center, Braden Seaman, but an interception from McCarricker.
This is an uncharacteristic, inaccurate throw from Vaillancourt here. Steps up in the pocket, which I like, is feeling that pressure from the backside and just throws it way outside Sibley for an interception. When the ball hits you in the hands, you got to catch it if you're a defender, and McCarricker does it right there.
Sibley is the favorite target. It's his 5 receptions leading into that one. Now Stusik over the middle, in and out of his hands. Jordan Cheesda is in coverage. Stusik, who caught the touchdown pass on the last drive, almost came up with another big play.
Seaban's thinking, hey, we got an interception. Let's turn this turnover into points before the half. And Stusik does a great job of high-pointing that football in double coverage. Boschman, the safety, was there, but he tripped over his own feet. The sniper got him from up top on Mosaic Stadium and almost allowed Stusik to make a great diving catch. Just pops out.
Second down now. Seaban rolls out to his right. He's got time. The pass in the air, and that's incomplete. Was looking for Mims down the sideline. And it's third down. 19 seconds left in the half. They're trying for a couple of home run shots.
Definitely, and I like this call here from Seaban. Get him on the roll. This is a completely different looking Rams offense with him at the controls. Full roll to his right. Mims running the old wheel right up the sideline there. Just a little bit out of bounds, but that's where you want to miss it as a quarterback. You don't want to be missing it inside because then you leave it open to potentially an interception.
Aldo Galvin, the #1 punter in the country. Low one. It bounce, gets a good bounce. And will go out of bounds right around the 51-yard line with 13 seconds left. Maybe time, if you can connect on a big strike, to get into field goal range for one final shot.
You might have 2 or 3 plays here. You got one timeout. Ball's going to be spotted exactly on the 50. So I think you take a look here. Can you get a chunk on first down and then decide from there if you're Jabari Arthur, the offensive coordinator and play caller for the Dinos?
Gob Dang's been the big play target. He's wide to the right, the top of your screen. That's where Vaillancourt looks, drops it down. And Dang brought down quickly by the nose tackle, Torrance Swiston Burns.
Calgary uses their last timeout of the half smartly. Decision time here. Either you let McLean come on and try a long field goal, or you have a quick play here, and I think that's what Arthur is talking about with Vaillancourt as we see what Gob Dang 85 has done in this first half. Got a little loose and then started to do damage against this Rams defense in the first half. Viancore lets it go deep. Dang. Leaping, showing the bunnies. In stride. Hits the pylon.
He with the Dinos draw up here. I'm going to try and draw him offside first. Going to go with the hard count. Now Viancourt. He's going to step up in the pocket. 3 seconds, 2, and he gets down just before time expires. So he does pick up a few. Looks like about 7 yards. And now chance for a long field goal attempt if you want to go that way.
You know, usually the hometown team would burn that second off the clock, but the Rams are just such an upstanding organization that they're by the book. The 1 second is left there.
Wind has really calmed down too. It's going to be a 49-yard field goal attempt for Vince Triambari.
It's a little bit at his back though. It's not into him, so it should help him out.
Triambari's longest is from 37 on the season. That one is just wide to the right. And this is going to be brought out by Stedman, who's got some room. Now just the kicker to beat. And the kicker, Triambari, brings him down. When you thought Stedman was going to take it to the house, the kicker saves the day.
That brings back some horrid memories for me at the University of Guelph. But if you're Stedman going down the sideline here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 helpers there. Cut back to the middle of the field.
The whole field is open.
Yes. Try to make the kicker be athletic, flip his hips, and chase you down. But look at Triambari here. He's like, okay, just going to mind my business. Watch Stedman's hips. Push him out of bounds. Great job by the kicker, man. Kickers are people too. Kickers are football players too.
Oh, great play by Vince Triambari. Let's join Matt Young. Matt?
Alrighty, folks, we here with Mark McConkey. Mark, just tell us a little bit about Brandon O'Flaherty. What's his status right now?
Yeah, I know they're checking him out right now. He got hit pretty hard to the head, so we'll see. We're planning on him coming back, but I'm not sure.
Okay, Jackson Sombach out of the game right now. Your thoughts on that? And are things getting a little chippy out there, do you think?
Yeah, definitely one-sided. We're a disciplined football team, but today we are not. Like, I'm not sure what exactly is going on. We got leaders taking bad penalties, and I got to do a better job. That's exactly the halftime talk I'm going to go give them right now.
Good luck in the second half. Guys, we got a pretty good one here at Mosaic Stadium. We got a 15-7 game between the Dinos and the Rams, two teams that are out and perhaps showing a little desperation trying to get that first win on the season. We'll be back in just a few moments. Welcome back to Mosaic Stadium here in Regina. College Football Saturday on Canada West TV. It's the Rams taking on the Calgary Dinos right now. A 15-7 score favoring the visitors at the moment on a beautiful Saturday afternoon for football here in the provincial capital. Welcome back, folks. Halftime here at Mosaic Stadium, and joining me to talk a little bit about today's game and really the Rams program and some football in general, because his last name is probably going to be well known to a lot of people. It's Aaron Picton, the president of the Rams. Rams. Aaron, I want to thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Matt.
Your thoughts so far, first half of football. You're on the sidelines there. What do you think?
We'd like a little more offense. We got a little bit of a flash going with redshirt quarterback, so hopefully we can keep that going in the second half and put some points up and come away with a win.
All righty. Well, of course, kind of football runs a bit in the family blood there. Of course, your Uncle Dean picked in. Of course, he played for the Rams, and of course, Mitch picked in. Of course, his career as well. Tell us a little bit about you guys and them. Do you talk a lot of football together? I mean, what's the conversation on the dinner table like between you and those guys?
When we played, there was less, but now that we're kind of done playing, and we still have Mitch playing, but now it does come up a little bit more in conversation. And being around the Rams, it's been very special in our family for a long time. And coming out to games, I remember coming out when I was 5 or 6 years old, and my uncle's involved with the Rams as a board director for a long time, and he'd come bring us out, and it's always very special, and it's very special to be continue to be involved in it.
Now, you mentioned you came out to Rams games when you were 4 years old. I came out to Rams games when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and of course back then it was at the old Mosaic Stadium at Old Taylor Field. I mean, does it feel a little different, a little better? Do you kind of miss the old digs once in a while?
A little bit, yeah. The character of that building was awesome, but I think we get a little bit spoiled in this one. It's a beautiful facility, and I don't think we could ask to play in a better stadium.
It's sort of starting to break things in here at Mosaic Stadium over the last number of years. You're the president of the Rams. Of course, a well-respected organization. Tell us about, there's a tuition giveaway we were talking about earlier that's coming up. Tell us about that.
So today we're giving away $5,000 to a U of R student, and we've done it in partnership with the university and President Dr. Keshen's office. He's been a great advocate for varsity sport at the University of Regina, and the entire athletics department we're doing in partnership with them. So great partnership that we have with the university. We're very thankful for that. And looking to give away $5,000 to a lucky student today.
Well, there you go. There you have it. And of course, I mean, the organization, well known, not really just in Regina, but across Saskatchewan. I have to ask, being president of the Rams, I mean, is there one job that's bigger than all for you? I mean, what do you enjoy most about it? And then kind of, what are some of the biggest challenges that a president of an organization like this might face?
There's not a whole lot that I can say I do personally. It's a big team effort. We have a very big board and a very long and dedicated board. I think what really makes it special is just we all have a common goal to support the University of Regina Rams and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. And really, it is what's special to me is seeing the guys that I grew up with and saw at Rams practices and Ram games. The Gary Mathers, the Larry LeBlancs, the list goes on. There's just a long list of guys. We were talking this week. Gary Mather became a board director in 1969, I believe it was, and he's still doing it today.
Wow. Well, of course, I mean, lots has changed. I mean, way back when, remember, it was big shoulder pads, and the field conditions probably not quite as good as they are now. But tell us a little bit, how have things changed over the years, even since when you were a kid? I mean, you talked about going to the Rams games when you were so young.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of investment in football to make it safer. And that's one that we take very seriously at the University of Regina and with the Rams, and one that it's a strong focus for us to make sure that we have the funds to make sure that all the players are safe and they can play the game safely.
Right on. Aaron Bickton, president of the Rams, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, guys, we're here at Mosaic Stadium. We got a good one going between the Rams and the University of Calgary Dinos. A 15-7 score at halftime. We're back with more after the break. Welcome back to Mosaic Stadium, everybody. Here in Regina, we got a 15-7 score between Calgary and Regina at the moment. We're going to be back with more highlights around the league, but first a look at Players of the Week.
The Canada West Offensive Player of the Week is quarterback Anton Amendrud of the Saskatchewan Huskies. The new Husky starter was simply dominant in a huge 40-6 win over rival Regina last Friday night. He threw for 4 touchdowns and 391 yards, thrilling the 10,000 fans at Husky Homecoming. Amendrud came out of the gates firing, completing his first 9 passes and connecting for 4 first-half touchdowns. 3 of those connections were to third-year receiver Rhett Vavra. It's early, but Amendrud has already announced his arrival in Canada West. Through 2 games, he leads the conference in passing with an average of 352 yards a game and total touchdowns with 8. The Huskies now prepare for a home showdown with the Alberta Golden Bears next Friday in a battle of 2 undefeated teams. The Canada West Defensive Player of the Week is UBC's Ryan Baker. The Thunderbird defense has been rock solid through 2 games so far this season, and versatile third-year North Vancouver product Ryan Baker has played a huge part in their success. He delivered another strong game against Calgary on Saturday, recording an interception as well as a fumble recovery in a big 45-15 win over the Dinos. Baker started the second half with a huge interception at the Calgary 37, swinging momentum back in UBC's favor and helping lead to the blowout win. The nationally ranked Thunderbirds are 2-0 and will host Manitoba next Saturday at Thunderbird Stadium. The Canada West Special Teams Player of the Week is kicker Jonathan Giustini of the Alberta Golden Bears. Giustini knocked in 3 field goals while helping the Golden Bears to a critical 37-16 win over Manitoba last Friday night. Alberta, who has started their season 2-0 for the first time since 2015, has shown a balanced offensive attack through the season's opening 2 games as they look to return to the Canada West playoffs. Giustini, a 4th-year student-athlete from Calgary, has played his part. His 3 field goals on Friday all came in the third quarter and included drives from 25, 33, and 49 yards out. He was also 4 for 4 on extra points, improving to a perfect 7 for 7 on the season. Alberta now prepares for a big test next Friday as they travel to face Saskatchewan in a battle of undefeated teams.
Okay, welcome back, folks. Other games going on in Canada West. You have Manitoba taking on UBC, and it's 34-10. That one going on right now in the third quarter. Last night, Alberta 26-22 victory over Saskatchewan in a battle of teams that you could see in the Hardy Cup final. Let's go to the highlight reel. What with the Book of Eli right today? Eli Hetlinger intercepted on that play. That's a big touchdown for Saskatchewan, but then after this, it's Hetlinger with the touchdown pass right there. The University of Alberta Golden Bears had a 20-14 lead at halftime. They managed to stretch that into a 26-22 victory over Saskatchewan last night. A big win for Eli Hetlinger and the Alberta Golden Bears over the Saskatchewan Huskies last night. Here in Regina, Mosaic Stadium, it's the University of Calgary Dinos taking on the Regina Rams. 15-7 the score right now. It's been mostly defense. We do have a couple of touchdowns. Now let's go to the gentleman who will call the second half proceedings up in the booth. It's Justin Dunk and Darren Dupont. Guys.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. And interesting opening half, especially when you look at these 2 quarterbacks. Let's start on the Calgary side, Justin, where Xavier Vaillancourt, the Cochrane rifle, he had a couple of big plays pacing this Calgary offense.
He's been rifling out all over the prairies here in this game very comfortably. Goes about his business in a methodical way, shows that arm strength, wide field out, no problem. Underneath route, okay, I can put it on the money. Has shown an ability to get out of the pocket when needed as well. Twice his helmet has been knocked off in this first half and he stayed in the game, so he's a tough sucker as well. And then he can take that deep shot and put it on the money. Gob, dang, deep dang, touchdown, baby, and then finds Gagnon, his big physical target, across the middle. And when you throw it to those big guys who can get rumbling, it's got to be on target so you can let them run after the catch, and he did that with Gagnon for his second touchdown pass of the first half.
11 of 19 for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 late interception. Pretty good opening half for Vaillancourt. Now, Bryden O'Flaherty started the game for the Regina Rams at quarterback and had trouble getting some consistency going and ultimately never finished the half due to an injury.
That's right, and you felt like he was close. There were some balls that were tipped and maybe some that should have been reeled in right there by Bennett Stusical. That was a difficult catch for the veteran to reel in, but he got knocked around, and ultimately it was a sandwich hit from 2 Dinos defenders that put Flaherty on the sideline, and in an unexpected way may have unearthed a gem here in the young kid Sieben at the quarterback position, who has his first career Canada West and U Sports touchdown pass on his first actual drive, not a situation where he came into the game in 2nd and 10.
No, it's not. Good opening half for Owen Sieben coming on in relief. For now, let's go downstairs and join Matt Young once again.
All right, Coach Harrison, the Calgary Dinos, your thoughts on Xavier Vaillancourt's play so far after 1 half?
Well, for the most part, he's playing pretty good. He's getting the ball where we've been working at. He's making those passes. The guys are making the catches today, so big improvement there. The one big play, the gob, so it gives the energy to the offense and to the whole team.
Your message in the locker room to the guys at halftime?
Well, keep disciplined. You know, there is some chippy play out there, but keep disciplined. Don't take the bad penalties. Play smart, execute your assignments, and let's keep playing for a full 60.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
First half numbers, big one, the penalties, Justin. 12 for 130 yards for the Rams, but we got 2 quarterbacks here in their first starts, while for Owen Sieben now coming on in relief in his first appearance. They're both on pace for around 300 yards or more.
Who says there hasn't been much offense in this game, Matt Young? I would argue we've got some young, intriguing quarterbacks.
Oh, we really do. 145 yards passing for the Rams. For Sieben, passing the football, 4 of 7 for 81 yards and a touchdown. Bryden O'Flaherty, 6 of 12 for 64 yards, as Mark McConkey and the Regina Rams looking to keep the winning ways going with Calgary. They're going to have to come from behind in the second half if they're going to do it, trailing by 8. But if there's somebody who knows offense, Mark McConkey does in this league. He was a receiver, high-end one at that, and 8 years as offensive coordinator as the second half's underway.
Definitely, and you saw that fresh haircut he had there. He said, we're 0-2. We started the season with 2 losses. I had to change something up. So if we win, it's because of his new haircut.
And so as we start the second half, it will be Owen Sieben in at quarterback. So Sieben, a freshman, will get the football to start. And as we get a look, it should be Marshall Erickson in the backfield, who also had a good opening half. Didn't see him in the second quarter, but for Erickson, 5 carries for 54 yards in the first quarter. And he's in the backfield. And he'll take the catch here, the reception. Works back, he's got a first down and more. And he's out of bounds, the 48-yard line.
Love the call from McConkey to start this second half. Erickson back into the game as they go back and forth. His quarters are the first and third. Savarda's getting the second and the fourth. And Erickson here on the screen pass. Big fellas out in front of him, knocking people down. And one man away as Jacob Biggs, a veteran defensive back, sort of steers him out of bounds there. But big play from Erickson to get the Rams rolling to start the half.
That's a 29-yard reception. Now, Erickson on the ground to the outside, takes that real wide and picks up a gain of just a yard. Talk about splitting quarters, but if Erickson keeps providing this much offense, it'd be hard to keep him off the field.
It definitely could be. I know they really wanted to stick to that, especially in the first half with Savard getting the second quarter, and you alluded to it after the great first quarter that Erickson had. 5 carries, I think, was for 54 yards, so averaging over 10 yards a carry, in that first quarter. So if Erickson stays hot here, he could stay in the ball game for that fourth and potentially deciding quarter.
Sieben to pass, and that's batted down. Jumping in, Ben Dobson, the outside linebacker, gets a hand on it, and that'll stall the drive.
If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, and that's what happens here. Is there's a little bit of pressure there. Yeah, you got to use the bunnies sometimes too to knock that ball down, and alert play there from Dobson, who's coming on the blitz from that weak side, knew he wasn't going to get to Sieben as he started his throwing motion, does the next best thing and knocks that ball down and puts his offense on the field.
Deacon Taylor Young back to take this punt, takes it to the 19. And up across the 30, a return of 12 yards for Deacon Taylor Young on the punt from Aldo Galvin. So we'll see Xavier Vaillancourt back out here to start the second half.
Vaillancourt has been impressive in his first career start, and we talked to Jabari Arthur, the offensive coordinator for the Dinos, wearing that yellow penny-looking get-up on the sideline because he's signaling in the plays, and there was a quiet confidence I could sense when Arthur was talking about this Vaillancourt kid, and he said, hey, here's his chance. You never know when it's going to come, but it's right here, right now, on the road at Mosaic Stadium.
Niksua takes the carry, and he's brought down by Michael Clow after a small gain. Sua, the fifth-year transfer from the University of Waterloo. Opening half, that saw him carry the ball 9 times for 36 yards. Each of the first 2 weeks, he's had 50 yards in each of them, and on pace for a little more than that here in week 3. Second down and 6. That pass over the middle, settling right down into coverage and really battling with a couple of Rams there. Dante Carbone, the nose tackle, Torrin Swiston Burns. We've seen him back in kind of coverage a few times, chasing down receivers. But a first down, Calgary.
Carbone does enough there. Got to spin with this Dinos program for a little while, and Vaillancourt has as well. I think that should be stressed that he's been with the program but hasn't really played much. You alluded to the small amount of attempts that he's had. This is his first career start, but he's been in this system that Jabari Arthur has been preaching now for a handful of years.
Vaillancourt chips it out once again. This to Ben Gagnon, who had a touchdown in the second quarter. You're right. When you have, a redshirt year, there's COVID. Last year he was able to come in one game. I believe it was the game in Saskatoon. Just attempted 3 passes, never completed any. But that doesn't burn a year of eligibility. So on the roster, yeah, you're right. He looks like a first-year freshman, but it's not a true freshman. He's had some time to learn.
And it's great to have that time around the program. You can get comfortable with the offense, the read progression, what's being asked of you as a quarterback. You can go on some of those road trips, as you mentioned, him going to Griffith Stadium just to get a sense of, okay, what it's like to go on a road trip. How do the Dinos operate away from the friendly confines of McMahon Stadium?
Well, Calgary looking for their first win here of the season. As we get a look at what's ahead for the Dinos. Doesn't get any easier. They've got to go back home to take on the Saskatchewan Huskies, who at the moment are the number 3 team in the country.
I'll be there next week.
But they've got Saskatchewan twice, Manitoba twice, and UBC in the middle of it. And I look at those week 5, week 8 games against the Bisons. Those might be a real determining factor on that final playoff spot.
It could really be. Every game so crucial now for Calgary after getting off to that 0-2 start, which in the recent history of their program is very uncharacteristic.
Second down. Seen Vaillancourt try the hard count a couple of times. He still has 10 seconds on the play clock. Rams bringing extra pressure, and that pass complete. And Dante Carbone has it again, the 6'4" target out of Victoria. Hauls in another reception and another Calgary first down.
The Dinos continue to go about their offense in a very methodical way. Vaillancourt has thrown a lot of very accurate passes, and a lot of his receivers have come up consistently catching the football, but they're going about this in a slow way, really going about this game at their own pace, slowing it down for the young quarterback so he can get a great snapshot of the defense before the actual snap of the ball.
Vaillancourt over 200 yards now. This time the handoff is to Nick Sua on the ground. He's got 6 yards on the first down carry. Brings up second down. Calgary a little more methodical in this possession, working it down the field.
They've been like that the whole day, and Sua has helped here because when he's touched the ball, he's been surging forward and usually putting them in second and medium situations, which still makes the defense honor the run and makes it more comfortable for a young quarterback in Vaillancourt.
Second down. With some time, looking deep left, and that's in over the head of Rowan Reed. Incomplete. It will bring up third down, and a decision here for Calgary, who will trot out the special teams unit.
I could see this is where Vaillancourt was going very early on this road. It was clear to me there was going to be a one-on-one matchup with Reed there, who had a step, and just a flash of a ram in his face might have caused that ball to be off. That's all it can take sometimes, but Vaillancourt misses in the proper spot, throws it to where his receiver, he was anticipating at least, going to be on the corner route. Shows that deep arm strength yet again.
Jevon Garwood is back to receive the kick, and we have flags on the play. And the Rams will bring out the offense.
I think what happened there is the short snap bounced and McLean went down on a knee, as you're going to see here, to pick it up. He was probably arguing that he did not have complete control of the football, and he's been flapping that mouth all game long, admittedly. But right there, I think he probably has a case.
That's potentially 50 yards of field position. Play action. Gonna roll to the outside. Sieben's got room, and he's just gonna wisely throw this away. But he avoids the sack on a bit of a fire drill and brings up second down. But that's a tough play, going back to McLean on the snap. Even if it's a split second and his knee's down, heads up play call by the officials. But that's a tough one.
It really is. I can see why McLean was arguing it, because he didn't quite have control of it, but it could be very costly here. The Dinos trying to erase that mistake.
Second down. Sieben looked left. Now he's rolling out to the right. He's got more room. He's going to take off and run. And he'll get awful close to the first down marker. He's going to be short. We'll see by how much and what the decision is for Mark McConkey. It'll depend on the spot. This could be a full 2 yards short. Or more.
One of the officials there took a shot on the sideline, man. He was down and then got back to his feet, fortunately. You can see right there.
Right side of your screen.
Oh my goodness. Shaking it off.
Tough. That looked like Thomas Bresciani, the side judge. Of course it's a Bresciani. There's no way you're taking him out of the football game.
Wow.
But
yeah,
he doesn't look like he's in the most comfortable mindset right now.
Smiling now. It's all fun and games when it's over and you don't break anything.
It's 3rd and 2 from the 46-yard line. Aldo Galvin's coming out. Is he coming out to attempt a field goal or the punt? It looks like a punt. He's 0 for 1 on field goals. He's attempted 2. One was the bad snap that turned into a punt. So he's standing at his own 50. Oh, it's a direct snap. Needing a couple of yards, and they're going to get right there, and they got it. The direct snap was to Braden.
And gets just enough. Galvin signals first down here, but we're going to have a measurement.
Yeah, it looked at originally like he had it. They're going to measure this. Look, the football's right in front of Josh White there. If you could just slide out of the way, big fella, that'd be great. We're going to have the suspense of the official, and Alan Laird calls it a first down, Regina.
What a call from McConkey.
So Owen Sieben on the offense will continue here, down by 8 in the third quarter. Bennett Stusik out wide to the left along with Deshaun Mims. Sorry, Mims is up to the right, the handoff. Some room for Erickson. And he's got a gain of 6. He continues his strong afternoon. It will bring up a second down and 4.
He has looked very explosive running the football today for the Rams. A little too much jitterbug in there. Would have liked to see him make 1 or 2 cuts and then go and put his shoulder pads down if he has to, but he has been a bright spot for Regina.
Second down Rams. Erickson in the backfield. Play action. Sieben dishes it off, and that's incomplete. Sokol had it go in and out of his hands. With great coverage from the outside linebacker, Ben Dobson. And now we should see the Galvin field goal attempt.
Sokol looks like you in pregame warmups.
I was bringing those in.
There was a few. There's a few. You're getting better. There wasn't a defender draped all over you, though, like Sokol had right there. That's a difficult catch.
That's a tough catch.
Bring it in, because defensive backs are taught this, and that's what Dobson was doing there, to punch up there because they know that you're trying to bring the football down, tuck it away, and secure it. So great play by the Dinos DB.
44-yard field goal attempt for Aldo Galvin. He had the last one. The snap was bad. This time they fake it back to Wag again. Second effort, and he's going to be right at the mark. This will depend on the spot. But back to back. Trickery on the special teams.
A little bit of misdirection here. The flip to Wag, coming around the edge. And I thought he was going to get the corner there, but he stopped, cut up inside, and that might be the reason that he's ultimately short there, and I'm sure that's why he's upset with himself.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get to the outside, but Dobson got inside and didn't allow Galvin to make the block, so tripped him up.
It's always dicey when you rely on a punter to try to make a block to spring a play there. Usually just tell him, hey, get in the way. Rob Maver was my punter at the University of Guelph, punted in the CFL for the Stamps for over 10 years. And Kyle Walters said, if you're going to try to mix it up, because he took a big shot one time, either be ready or just kick the ball and run straight off the field.
Get in the way.
In that situation, he would not have been involved in the play at all, even if it was a fake. Yeah. Don't even try to get in the way.
He'd have been gone.
Get out of the way.
That's an 11-yard carry from Nick Sua on first down. And so the Dinos offense not putting up a lot of points, but they're starting to get going. We're not seeing 2 and outs. We're seeing them start to generate 1, 2, 3 first downs now every time they touch the football.
That's been the key. They've played ball possession football, and there has not been a lot of 2 and outs for the Dinos, and they're holding on to the rock and trying to really kind of kill this clock.
Sua again, this time has a gain of 7 on the first down carry. But Nick Sua starting to get more comfortable in this Calgary offense. Back-to-back carries, and now up to 61 yards. This is officially his biggest game in the Canada West.
He told us he wants to put CFL-type potential on film, right? He wants to earn a CFL opportunity, and if you're running the ball for the Dinos, there's a good chance that that could come as he powers forward for a first down there. He's a really intriguing, shifty back. I would say that he probably needs to add to his frame to withstand the physical punishment that he would have to take at the CFL level, but he's got some quicks, and I can see why the young kid is confident and wants to try to extend his football career. You see the athleticism with that hurdle, and he's not afraid, being a smaller dude, to lower his pads and be physical with opposing defenders. He's run the ball very well for the Dinos so far today.
I'll give it to him again. That's 4 straight carries for Nick Sua. And across midfield, they're inside the Rams territory. After a gain of 4 yards, brings up 2nd and 6.
The Dinos just tick, 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 tick on that clock, going about this in a very methodical way. I think that's the word of the day for the Dinos offense. They know that they're up 8 in this ball game on the road. I don't think Jabari Arthur, the offensive coordinator, is going to put his young quarterback in a position where he's got to make some risky throws here. And it's a smart game plan so far.
Flag on the play. Snap doesn't get off. And this will likely back them up.
Illegal procedure, 60 Calgary. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's the left tackle, Troy Cole, out of High River, Alberta, a transfer from Minot State. On the left side. One thing about Calgary, routinely on their offensive line, they're all big. You look at from left to right. Troy Cowell, left tackle, 6'6". Daniel Townsend, 6'6". Braden Seaman, the center, at 6'2", is the smallest guy. Daniel Stefanik, 6'4". John Boss, 6'6". It's
massive.
It's pretty intimidating. Whew. No doubt. Now, the screen pass set up, and it's incomplete. With pressure, they tried to drop that in, but it's incomplete. Tyson Rowe, the fullback, couldn't come up with it, and it brings up 3rd down.
That's Josh White with the pressure in the face of Viancourt, and you know when he arrives, it's going to get physical. He took Viancourt down to the turf there and really, I believe, helped force that errant throw on the screen pass.
Let's go downstairs and visit Matt Young once again.
Well, of course, the guy you see on the field right now, that's Chris McLean, the punter. After that last punt where he inadvertently went down on his knee, it looked like, during the bobbled snap, I watched him go over to the sidelines. He was obviously frustrated, but I saw him talk to one of the coaches who seemed to be kind of encouraging him, patted him on the back a little bit and kind of calmed him down. But as for what you were talking about earlier, I mean, absolutely, there is fire from him right now. In fact, after the 2nd Calgary touchdown, I saw him go across the sideline, waving his hands and saying, "Run up the score." So there is no love lost, certainly between him and the green and gold this afternoon. He's jacked up to beat the Rams, and right now Calgary has an 8-point lead, guys.
How about that? Ooh, okay.
Got some fire. I'm okay with it.
The thing about McLean, I mean, punters are people too, right?
Yes.
He backs it up on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was the #1 punter in the country last year, and among the top 5 punters again this year. As the handoff goes to Erickson, he works up to the left and has a 7-yard gain.
And by showing that passion for the game, he's got us talking about it.
Absolutely.
Draws attention. Maybe he's trying to deflect attention away from his young quarterback. Put it on me, the Rams. Hey, if they're too busy worrying about jaw-jacking with the punter on the opposing team, got bigger things to worry about.
Erickson's now up over 60 yards on the ground after that 1st down carry. Takes the handoff on 2nd down. Nowhere to go. Met by Dobson and a group of Dinos. Right behind the line of scrimmage, but there is a flag down. It's a face masking call against Calgary. Here's a look at
unnecessary roughness. Face mask, 93 Calgary. 15 yards from the end of the play. 1st down.
Nathan Tights, the nose tackle.
It wasn't the worst grab there. I don't think he was doing that deliberately, but anytime your hands are up around the face there and almost grabbing that mask, it's an easy call.
1st down, Regina. In what's been a quiet 3rd quarter. from the 43-yard line. Owen Sieben hands it off to Erickson. He moves to the left. He's got some room now. Up across midfield. And a gain of 15 and a Regina first down.
Erickson showing that burst that we've seen multiple times today. If he gets a little crease to the outside, he's going to take it there. You can see him outrunning defenders' angles and probably more importantly, changing those angles with a quick cut to get to the outside, signaling first down. And the way that he's run, I think he deserves to go the rest of the way into the fourth quarter and finish this game at running back for the Rams.
76 yards on the ground. Now to Mims on the counter. Met by Dobson. Small gain. A gain of 4 yards for Deshaun Mims, who's been quiet today. The leading Rams receiver needs to get his hands on the football a little more.
They've tried a little bit. Remember in that first half, they rolled Sieben out to the right. That wheel shot down the sideline was overthrown. He's got 2 catches for 41 yards, got a couple carries as well, but we haven't seen him targeted as much as I think we thought from the jump.
Second down. With pressure. That pass right in the ground. Stedman picked it up off the ground. He's about a yard or 2 short. They're going to give him the catch. I thought this was on the ground, Justin, but we'll get a look at it here. This will be a good angle.
Seems like it could be a catch to me. Strong hands there. Look at that battle, man. You have to be very strong with your hands on the football these days, the way these defensive backs are being coached up. I'm sure that's the way defensive coordinator Matt Berry teaches it for the Dinos, and he's had some really good cover men, including Dean Leonard, who's plying his trade now with the Los Angeles Chargers. Battle for the ball there, but Stedman holds up, and he gives the Rams an opportunity for the offense to stay on the field on third down.
Offense staying out on third down, and a full yard, maybe yard and a half. Regina's going to take a timeout here to talk things over. But Marshall Erickson has had himself a good afternoon for the Regina Rams on the ground. 76 yards for Regina in a quarter, almost 2 quarters of work.
He's run the ball really well. Smooth cuts, especially in the open field there. And he's got some speed to his game and the wiggle with the spin move as well. The most important thing I think that we've seen from Erickson is his decision-making has been quick. He's been decisive with his cuts, except for really on one run. I think that is what has made him so productive through nearly 3 quarters today.
The official line now, after the last carry, 10 attempts, 10 rushes, 85 yards. An 8.5-yard average. Pretty good for Erickson.
You would almost think an offense that has a running back with that high of a per carry average would have more than 7 points today. So let's see what it leads to for the Rams.
In his first year of eligibility. Play action. It's out to Sokol, and he's got the first down. So on the third down gamble, they go to Ryland Sokol. Nate Beauchemin was in coverage, and the first-year Ram makes the catch.
The 6-man ball alum makes the catch there from DuPont's hometown of Wynyard. That's how you secure the football and get a first down for your offense. But talking about Erickson, I remember you and I discussing him with Coach McConkey last season. They were thinking, well, you know, we don't want to burn a year of his eligibility, even though we think he's really talented. They got high hopes for this kid.
Play action now. Over the middle. Oh, almost intercepted. Beauchemin nearly had that. So did Sauce Odom Wingy, too. Went through his hands and then right through the midsection of Beauchemin.
Sieben is going to want that ball back. He was just staring down Mims across the field, and 3 Dinos defenders in the area. Beauchemin can't catch it on the tip drill.
This should be the final play of the third quarter. Pressure coming. Sieben steps up nicely and now looks to the right, and that pass to Stusic's complete, and it's near a Regina first down as the third quarter comes to a close here in Regina. Stusic, it will be close, and they will indeed move the chains. It's an 8-point Calgary lead on the road in Regina. Two teams looking for their first win of the season, and one will get it in the fourth quarter ahead. Great scene in Regina. The Rams and Dinos locked in a good one-possession game. 8-point Calgary lead after 3 quarters of play. The Rams, we talked a lot about their defense and how they've lost so much. Their entire defensive line. They've lost all-stars to the linebacking core, like Ryder Varga. And in the secondary, Jackson Ford's been a real big piece of this team that they've been missing. He was a leader on this group, not only statistically being an all-star and all-Canadian, but a real leader in that group. And now he's seeing that success translate from the university level to the Canadian Football League.
Of course, the grandson of Al Ford, who has so many ties to the Rough Riders, and now Ford plying his trade with the green and white in this same stadium. And Josh White, his former teammate, called him the Labor Day legend for that knockdown on Zach Collaros, of course, during the Labor Day Classic at a sold-out Mosaic Stadium. He made some big-time plays so far in his career in the CFL, and it shows you the ability of these guys to get to the next level. Josh White is another one of those, spent training camp with the Ottawa Redblacks, and you see Anthony Bennett is now with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Tanner Schmeckel was a big presence on the inside as well. He had a lot of pro interest. Ryder Varga is doing his thing in the CFL as well, so they've had to replace all-stars at every level. But fortunately for the Rams, they got White back, so he can pass down some of that veteran experience and also what it takes to get to that level. White has plans to play next year in the CFL. Now, he's got to be good enough, and the Red Blacks told him you need to play on as many special teams as you can, especially the coverage units, and he's heeded that advice and done that with the Rams this season.
Sieben back to pass, finds Dallin Keene, and Keene has another Regina first down. That play by Jackson, that was an overtime on a 2-point convert to seal the game. A guy who didn't start the season as the guy in that secondary, but as we know, all you need is an opportunity. The opportunity opened up on Labor Day weekend, and he's taken advantage.
The opportunity came about because Jaden Dalkey, another former Canada West alum, of course, from the University of Alberta, was hurt. So Ford steps in there, and you have to have that next player up mentality. It's so cliche these days, but it's gotta be that way, especially at the pro level, because then you can take it and run, and that's what Ford has done. The game does not seem too fast for him at the CFL level, and DuPont, that's why you and I and all the people involved with these broadcasts and in the Canada West are so excited about these games, because you're literally seeing the guys evolve here as players, athletes, student athletes, and human beings to go to the next level.
The stats through 3 quarters of play. Owen Sieben, 140 yards and a touchdown through the air, coming in relief of Bryden O'Flaherty, who we haven't seen since. Now, to Erickson again. Oh, second effort, he'll squeak forward for a Rams first down inside the red zone, trying to tie this ball game.
You'll notice it's the fourth quarter. Savard's not on the field. The Rams appear to have decided to go with Erickson in what is a potential season-deciding quarter, and I say that because if you're Regina, you just cannot afford to go to 0-3, and Erickson with a physical never say die kind of run right there for a first down.
So 1st and goal from the 9. Sieben back to pass over the middle. That's caught by Sokol, and he's down at the 1. So the Rams right on the doorstep now to the 1-yard line. Ryland Sokol couldn't snag it across the line, but the Rams now 2nd and goal from the 1.
It was really close. It looked like it was inches away based on where the ball placement was when Sokol's knee hit the ground. That hair couldn't help him fly into the end zone, but it's close now. 1 yard away, critical down for the Rams.
Erickson in the backfield, and it's Braden Wagg under center. Outside linebacker, and he's got the touchdown. He slides down the line, and the Rams are down by 2.
Wags touched the football twice already in this game on fake punts, but here we see him at quarterback, a little wildcat action, if you will. Slices into the end zone. He's looking like Trey Ford last night against the Rough Riders in this same stadium with a layup touchdown there. Goes in untouched, largely due to the big fellas on the left side of that offensive line. Hadjewicz, Taylor, left tackle, left guard respectively, able there as well, and Wag into the end zone, and the Rams elect to go for just the single extra point there from Galvin, and I don't mind it. Lots of time left. You can get a Rouge single. They already have one in this game, and look at the push they get up there up front. The Rams getting physical, and Wag celebrating with a little swagger. I like it from number 30.
Not surprised they didn't go for 2?
No, not at all. I like the play. I mean, I can understand why a lot of people out there would want them to, but there's too much time left on the clock, and you can get a single relatively easily, especially with the power of Galvan's leg.
Matt Young is down on the Rams sidelines with, okay, he is ready. We'll go see Matt and Ryland Sokol.
Ryland Sokol, big catch there. You just about got into the end zone. You got to be happy, though, that you at least got pretty close there.
Yeah, no, it's always good when you feel like you contribute to a drive that ends up in a touchdown.
You used to play for the Winnipeg Rifles in the CJFL. The difference?
No, Regina.
Regina Thunder.
Come
My
on,
bad.
don't do
There
me
you
like
go. But your thoughts on sort of the difference, the speed of the game, and things like that.
You know, out here, every player is good, right? And like CJFL, you see a lot of good players come through there, and very comparable football.
All right, awesome. Thanks for this.
Thank you,
guys.
When in doubt, former Wynyard Golden Bear.
Yes, 6-man ball.
Okay.
Shout out.
We got to get more love for the high school. Good return out to the 18-yard line for Matt Sibley.
That's old school, man. 6-man ball, those guys going both ways. Like back in the day in the CFL, you would see guys going both ways all the time, and it's so rare. You just do not see it anymore. Understand
wishbone offense. You run 9 plays.
That's kind of boring to me, but I understand you want to protect these guys, and especially the quarterbacks and stuff. But there are some guys I think that could do it at a high level, both DB and receiver. We saw Duron Carter do a little bit with the Rough Riders, kind of from time to time. Obviously, was much better as a receiver.
Travis Hunter's doing it. Colorado right now at a really high level.
You just wanted to get your boy Deion Primetime Sanders into the broadcast. You love him so much, you've already made him the background on your phone.
Yes, I've bought in, but that's tonight. Colorado State. Later on the weekend, Montreal Laval, as we get cross-border here and cross-time zone. It's like college football, north and south of the border, is extremely good right now.
It's heating up, man.
It's heating up big time.
High level.
And speaking of, let's check in with the OUA and Westerns and Queens. We're getting after it today in Kingston, where the Vanier Cup will be later on this November.
You sound like Bob McCowan, the Westerns. He used to call teams that just as jokers. The Torontos first.
The Torontos. We'll do it after this play. The handoff is to Nick Sua, and Sua's got enough for the first down. And just as I say that, U Sports is having trouble with the live scoring, and I can't get you the update from
I'm
Queens.
sure Western is leading.
They were last time we checked.
Yates
by
Cup
10.
rematch from last year. Western has set the standard in the OUA for a long time. It used to be somewhat fait accompli that the Mustangs were going to win the OUA and the Dinos were going to win the Canada West, but that's changed now. It's become the Saskatchewan Huskies, but then they get knocked off last night. I think that's what's the main difference to me about the Canada West is from week to week, even though there are the top dogs in the conference, pardon the pun, with the Huskies, but there's a chance that anybody can win out here. It's not necessarily the case at the top of the OUA compared to the bottom teams in Ontario.
Vaillancourt rolling out to his left. Takes a big hit, stays on his feet, and he's right there close to a first down. Maybe a little short.
We were talking with Jabari Arthur, the offense coordinator, before the game about Vaillancourt, and he said, you know, he's more of a passer, but he's run the ball a little bit.
Sure he has. Speaking of running the ball, UBC up 49-10 on Manitoba last time we checked in the fourth quarter. Isaiah Knight, 12 carries for 135 yards and a couple of touchdowns in that football game. Garrett Rooker is up to 284 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sam Davenport has 100. Jason Suriano, 99 yards. So big game for UBC offensively as they look to improve to 3-0 and keep pace with the Alberta Golden Bears.
Look out. Eli Hetlinger has got the boys rolling out there in Edmonton.
But Garrett Rooker's another one of those players who might be in that Heck Crichton
Time count
conversation
violation,
coming out of the
Calgary
West.
number
I think that's
12,
possible, but
5-yard
honestly, for
penalty.
me, it's Isaiah Knight. That dude is a cut above, and I think he's starting to show it. Now, they don't want to give him a large workload all the way through the season, so he might not put up some of the stats that you would expect from a high-level running back in Canadian university football. But that dude, for my money, could very well be the best and most dynamic running back in Canadian university football right now.
Unfortunately for Manitoba, they're still without Jackson Tuchinski. That's Sawyer Thiessen that's in at quarterback. Now to the outside, and that pass broken up. Defensively jumping the route, Max Polischuk. And it'll bring up 2nd and 15.
And we got a ball game here, man. 1-point game, Vaillancourt throwing it down the field here. Great job by Polischuk. Getting a little vertical to get his hands on it. Tight ball game here. Could go down to the wire, baby.
2nd and 15. See what the young quarterback has drawn up here. Rams bring 5. Vaillancourt to the outside. Caught by Sibley. Sorry, Gagnon's got that in the ground. Flag on the play. It's a short reception of just 3 yards. We'll see what the flag is.
These officials have been busy today, and the majority of calls, I think, have been on point.
So, looks like it's against the Rams.
Offside. John, number 96, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's Brad Rodine, the defensive tackle from Nipawin, another small-town school. They play 9 men in Nipawin, but that'll make it a little more manageable on 2nd down, 2nd and 10.
A little more realistic here still. Difficult situation for a young quarterback. Trying to draw him offside again. Let's see what the Dinos got.
That Aaron Rodgers hard count going. Drops back to pass. A 3rd and 2. Vaillancourt doesn't get it.
You had Josh White there standing up. Big number 66 for the Dinos, Townsend. And that, to me, really stunted that attempted quarterback sneak from Vaillancourt. There wasn't as much surge as we've seen throughout most of the game from the Dinos' offensive line there, largely due to White and especially his defensive line getting low and cutting down those Dinos' offensive linemen. Massive potential swing of momentum here, an opportunity for Sieben to seize this opportunity.
So Erickson in the backfield. Play action. That pass complete to Mims, and he's got room down the left side. Out of bounds at the 20. It's a gain of 21 yards from Owen Sieben to Deshaun Mims.
You know, I was saying to my nephew Elliot, who's here with me today, that Deshaun Mims might be the most explosive player on the football field, because I was trying to get him up to speed with what's going on with the Canada West, and I think you saw it right there. Makes the catch, defender miss in the open field, and then shows a little bit of power that we don't see too often from Mims, lowering the shoulder and arriving with a presence.
First down, Regina. They'll hand it off to Erickson. He works out to the left. And with that carry, Marshall Erickson is up to 100 yards on the afternoon.
Going over the century mark, this kid looks like he has the makings of a bell cow back, and he's doing it against a Dinos defense that, yes, is young, but has been physical today. I really like the way that Erickson's run the football, and I like the decision from McConkey to stay with Erickson in this fourth quarter. It was supposed to go back to Savard, but Erickson has earned this crunch time work.
Sieben back to throw. Looks to the outside. That pass is caught. Dallin Keene has it. They've really spread the ball around. Sieben has 5 receivers with at least 3 catches this afternoon.
So you can't just key in on one guy, and as much as you might want to try to force it to Mims, you have to take what is there from the defense. And Sieben has been solid in doing that since he's entered the game. They're confident, finds Keene along the sideline, who gets vertical, extends to make a catch for his quarterback and set up third, and it looks like a long yard here as Keene is down on the field getting worked on. Gives McConkey time to talk about what decision he's going to make.
Down by 1, 6-18. Points are at a premium here today, but it's definitely third and manageable. You're the coach. So what do?
I think, to me, that's the key right here, right now. My brother Adam was a former linebacker with me at the University of Guelph. Easily could have played in the CFL if he didn't have a broken leg at the end of his career. And the Griffins earlier this year didn't go for it on a 3rd and 1 situation that potentially could have ended the game. And he felt like if your offense can't get a yard, and he was a linebacker, what does that tell the defense? They don't have confidence in the offense. Now, it's much different here. A 1-point game, this puts you in front, and there's still some football to be played. But I think there's something to be said for that lack of confidence in the offense to not be able to get a yard.
The field goal from 18 yards is good, and the Rams have the lead.
Especially when your running back Erickson has over 100 yards on the day. What's his average per carry?
7.6.
I know it's one play and it could swing momentum, so that's probably the safe decision there. You take the lead in a ball game that hasn't had a whole lot of points, and Calgary hasn't scored for a while now as the Rams have mounted this comeback.
So the Rams with their first lead of the ball, second lead of the ball game. They led 1-0.
1-0, right? Hitmen versus the Pats, remember?
That's right. Who scored the goal?
It was Galvin, wasn't it?
That's good. I thought you were going to come up with a hockey player. 17-15. But the Dinos.
I would have said Connor Bedard. That's the easy answer, right?
They'll give it off to Nick Sua, who works forward, met by Chopper Hippie along the middle of that defensive line. Torrance, Swiston, Burns. Short gain brings up 2nd down as this Rams defense has settled in. See what the Dinos have drawn up here on 2nd down. Second down and 7. Viancourt back to pass. Hippie in the backfield. He steps up, drops the football, and who's on it? We're waiting for the call. Hippie provided some pressure from behind. Viancourt had to step up in the pocket, and the Rams have the football. Torrance, Swiston, Burns was at the bottom of that pile. I believe he's the Ram who came away with the ball. And that's back-to-back possessions that end in a turnover favoring the Rams.
They could swing this game in Regina's favor. Josh White there, the outstanding veteran linebacker for this team, in on that play. Really was just Vaillancourt loosey-goosey with the football. Squirts out, the Rams jump on it. A chance here to take a substantial lead in this football game.
So Regina to go to work. Play action, the outside for Sokol, and he moves outside and has 13 yards.
It's an easy completion, high percentage pass, Sieben to Sokol, but what makes this play go, Emmett Stedman with an outstanding block there on the edge. Fights off Jacob Biggs, who is a CFL caliber defensive back, was in training camp with the Calgary Stampeders, but Stedman doing yeoman's work there to get him free for a first down.
Rams on the move now from the 25. They'll hand it off to Erickson, who's got room up the left side. Biggs with the first contact. He bounces off of that. And does he have another Regina first down? So a 10-yard gain right at the marker. We'll bring up second down here. But a different Rams team with Owen Sieben at quarterback. A much different team with Owen Sieben at quarterback.
Definitely a different energy. And you mentioned that first real drive that he had where it was a first down, not 2nd and 10, because he came into the game cold off the bench. Takes him down for a touchdown, hits 2 big plays, and then the strike to Stusik gets him off and rolling. Big confidence builder.
We'll hand it off to Erickson, who bounces forward and has enough for the first down. So back in the red zone, already a couple of touchdowns and trying to extend this lead as we approach the 3-minute warning.
And I really like here Sieben being conscious of the clock. You're up 2. 3-minute warning has happened now, and also McConkey's play calling. Sticking with Erickson in that situation to try to tick, 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 and bleed this clock down. Can really chew it here, even though you're also close to potentially scoring a touchdown or tacking on a field goal.
Sieben hands it off. Erickson to the outside. He's got some room. Still on his feet, finally brought down right at the 5-yard line. As they continue to draw more time off the clock in the second down upcoming.
There was a little more time left on the play clock there that you would want to have seen. So let's see here, 2nd and medium. Regardless of your play call, you should be snapping that football with around 2 seconds left on the clock, just to make sure you don't get the delay of game penalty.
You can't see it on our shot, but from behind the quarterback, there's a play clock right in the corner of the end zone, counting down right in front of him. He needs to know where that is. He's got eyes on it. 2 seconds,
Perfect.
1, there's the ball snapped. The handoff right down to the goal line with help. They're going to call him down just short. You thought the big men came in and helped push him over the line. Now instead, it is a first down. That's the one thing. You could have get the first down without the touchdown.
And I think that's an ideal situation for the Rams, right? You don't get the touchdown. Braden Wagg's going to come into the game here again for that, we'll call it wildcat package that the Rams have, and you get another opportunity to at least take 20 more seconds, if not even more, off the clock if you don't score here. I think you want to try to take this all the way down, because then you're just not giving Calgary as much time to mount a comeback going the other way.
This is crazy, but would you consider taking a knee?
I was kind of thinking about it. Just surge forward.
Like, that's not the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah,
right
I think
there.
that's what they talked about. There was a lengthy conversation there on the sideline between McConkey and Wag. as to how to run that first down play.
Because you want to keep it as close to the 1 yard line as possible.
Exactly. You want to just be inside that 1 yard line, but you want to take 20 more seconds, if not more, off the clock. And you can see Wag coming over again, talking to McConkey, making sure he gets the proper play call. And I would imagine McConkey has told him before he went in for this goal line package, take that clock all the way down.
But I don't think you mess around on 2nd down.
Nope, you try to get in right here,
you
right now.
You don't want to attempt 3rd down. You'll still go for it maybe on 3rd, but here we go. Wag. It's this tough Calgary defensive front. He's going to bounce left and he scores. He was shut down to the right side, but then bounced off. And the Rams have extended the lead.
Who would have thought coming into this game, Braden Wag, of all people, will score not 1 but 2 touchdowns. And oh, by the way, he's got a fake punt conversion, 1 of 2 in that category. Not as good as his red zone efficiency, but he looks very comfortable with the football in his hands, and especially the decision making and game awareness watching the clock there. The Rams score and go up by an important extra point here that gets blocked again to keep this a 1-score game. That's 2 blocked extra points in this game.
The good news for Regina is it's an 8-point lead, so you need the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. But you're right, 2 extra points.
That's almost unforgivable. You could be up 10 points. It's ifs and nuts or candy and butts. We'd all be happy kids for Christmas, but you gotta make those extra points in those situations. Those are freebies. They gotta fix up that protection on the inside there.
1:28 left in the 4th quarter as we join Matt Young.
All right, well, one happy kid on the sidelines right now is Marshall Erickson. You've had a pretty good day so far carrying the rock. What are you seeing out there on the field?
I'm seeing my O-line get a lot of push. I owe all my yards today to them. They've been doing a great job today.
That last drive, you came oh so close to the end zone. Did you try and maybe wiggle over the line a little bit at the last second?
I tried my best, but I'm glad my teammate Wade got the touchdown.
All right, thanks for this, Mark.
No problem.
Guys?
Happy for his teammate. You like to see that. Now Calgary will bring this football out. Sibley bouncing it out to the left. And he's got some room out there. And out of bounds, the 27-yard line. So close game here in the final stage of the 4th quarter. It was a close one in Queens. They're closer than you thought. 32-27, the final for Western. So a tough one for Queens. And that one came right down to the wire. Not so much on the West Coast, where 56-10, UBC leading in that football game. Derek Engels into the football game at quarterback, and BC.
First down.
BC on their way to 3-0, as this will back up Calgary for a very important drive here late in the game.
Dude, they're going to have to go the entire length of the field. They need a 109-yard touchdown drive plus a 2-point convert. And yes, I know we just talked about the extra points here, but the most difficult situation put in front of a young quarterback in Vinecourt making his first career start. But these where legends are potentially made. Let's see what he's got, or do the Rams hold stiff?
Vinecourt, he's going to step out to run. He's got room on the left. Small little stiff arm, then takes a hard shot. Big tackle by Polishchuk, who got to the quarterback after a small gain, though, but that gets him out of their own end zone.
A little bit, yeah, gets him some breathing room. Important to note, the Dinos have 2 timeouts here as we're going to tick under the final minute to go in this football game. Gagnon makes the catch. Vinecourt has them in the hurry up. They're trying to conserve those timeouts.
66 seconds left in the 4th quarter, and they continue to roll. Vinecourt's got time. He'll sling this out wide. Sibley has it. Be short of the first down, but a gain is 7 yards. Lots of time on the clock if you can be efficient.
There is, yes, but you got a long distance to go. Still just keep chunking away here.
Looking to his left again, and that's broken up. Jumping the route with a great athleticism, Delaney Robinson, the second-year corner out of Toronto.
You know, I've seen Robinson on the field today, and there's a reason why we haven't called his name very much, because he has been locked down. Almost got a game-ending pick six there, but immediately when I saw this guy on the field in pregame warmups, I thought, this dude has the physical traits to at least be a CFL prospect, and he's brought the game to back it up.
Sure has. Great play there, and you're right. You don't hear somebody on the defensive side a lot. They're usually doing their job. That pass is hauled in. Once again, Rowan Reed has another reception, his fourth. One thing we haven't talked about, this Rams secondary that's actually locked in for the most part tonight. They're going to get some help back. Garishan Aravinthan, the fourth-year cornerback who was really good last year, was cleared to play on Tuesday. As this pass incomplete with a flag coming out. He was cleared to play Tuesday, and they hope they can get him in as early as next week.
And you think about adding that into this group with Robinson flashing there as well. I mean, Sombach's out of the game as well because he was ejected, but there are some experienced guys here in the back end, so you can see a makings of pretty stout defense.
44 Regina, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's the fifth-year outside linebacker, Josh White, on the illegal contact. But yeah, the secondary starting to come together. Jackson Fuchs, Robinson, you add Aravinthan with Sombach and Polishchuk being the young guy in the group. Things are starting to come their way in a very critical 4-week section of the Rams schedule. Vaillancourt, that pass over top of Dante Carbone, incomplete. So it brings up second down. 35 seconds on the clock, and they still got a long way to go.
Indeed, you got to have it here. Still realistic, 2 timeouts. This Rams defense knows that well, though. You can see them playing off coverage and just rallying up to those underneath routes.
Vaillancourt, Rams bring just 3. Lots of time. Now under pressure. And brought down, grabbing Torrance Swiston Burns, wrapped up Vaillancourt.
And that's just a 3-man rush. 9 defenders dropped into coverage for the Rams, but there's going to be a penalty against Regina.
Yeah. Alan Laird has been our referee today.
Unnecessary roughness, face mask, 91 Regina. 15-yard penalty from point of last scrimmage. First down.
That's Swiston Burns, the first-year defensive tackle out of Warman.
You did get him pretty good there. So there's going to be some marks on Vaillancourt's helmet. Popped off twice. Face mask there, and look at it, all over. He's had a rough day.
I know he played the game. Now out to the right side and jumping it once again. Tkachuk got hands on it. He wanted more than that. Jacob Tkachuk knocks that football down. Second down, 25 seconds to go.
It makes it easy as a defensive back when you know that you can play off coverage and come downhill on routes in front of you. Tkachuk almost gets an interception. We saw Robinson a handful of snaps earlier nearly get one as well. The Rams feeling it in the back end.
Vaillancourt back to pass. He's going to look to his left. Finds Gagnon. He's trying to get out of bounds, and he will. He'll be short of the first down, so they're going to have to contend with a third down. But there's only just 18 seconds left, too. So you need the first down, but you also need to think about starting to push this down the field.
It's difficult, though, because the Rams, for the most part on this drive, have rushed 3 defenders, dropped 9, so there's not much down the field unless you're going to force it into coverage. And we've already seen a couple of almost interceptions from Regina.
Third down and 2. Vaillancourt. He's going to take off and run. And he's really close. Josh White stepped up and made a huge stop. It'll all depend on the spot. But we do have a flag on the play, which I think is in the vicinity of holding.
Well, does it?
We're going to have the conversation here with 13 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. One of these teams is going to pick up their first win of the season. Here's a look.
And whatever team that is going to put themselves in legitimate playoff contention. You can see there, that's a clear holding penalty. Viancourt escapes the pocket.
They're going to measure this first. Rowan Reed's in the way. They're going to say short.
You had to measure that first so you could decide on the penalty, right?
If you want to accept or decline it. Call.
So if it's short, obviously it's an easy decline because the offense is going to get the football back and be able to knee this game out. How about this? We thought it felt like such a huge lead for the Calgary Dinos. Well, the Rams show us that's probably a silly comment coming all the way back in this game after leading 1-0.
On the play,
that hockey score, the Pats were up against the Hitmen. And Braden Wagg, of all people, scores 2 touchdowns. Sieben comes into the game, throwing darts right away. And the Rams about to knee out their first win of the season.
Yeah, this will be a tough one for Wayne Harris. You can see a little frustration because it was there, especially in that first half. Defensively, it frustrated the Rams. Offensively, got enough done. Big plays. The thing that wasn't there in the second half for Calgary, the big plays weren't there in the second half. The big plays, the 74-yard pass to Gob Dang for a touchdown. And Owen Sieben has come in to the Canada West, 13 of 20, 187 yards, a touchdown, a very clean performance coming in relief. And the young man, yeah, you can smile. You've got your first university football win. The Rams, they're on the board. And for the time being, they occupy the fourth and final playoff spot in the Canada West. Things can change quickly in just a few hours.
Definitely, and if you're the Rams now, is Owen Sieben your starting quarterback?
I would.
Life comes at you fast in the Canada West, and I think with the energy he showed today, throwing the ball confidently deep down the field and bringing this team back from a deficit where it didn't seem like Regina had much of a rhythm or anything going on when Bryden O'Flaherty started this game, that has to at least put him in the conversation. An important week ahead for McConkey making that call before the Rams kick off next week.
Mark McConkey and Wayne Harris embrace. For the Dinos, back to the drawing board. The Rams, they feel good after a win. It's the kid from Langley, BC, Owen Sieben, leading the way for the Rams over the Calgary Dinos here on a Saturday afternoon in Regina. Back with more of the Canada West Football Showcase after this. Mosaic Stadium on completion of a Saturday afternoon university football here in the Canada West. The Regina Rams have their first win of the season coming at the hands of the Calgary Dinos. Justin Dunk alongside myself, Darren DuPont. Matt Young's down on the sidelines. We'll visit with him shortly. But Justin, this is like a tale of two completely different halves. Early, it seemed like Regina couldn't get anything going. 12 penalties, 130 yards in the first half. Bryden O'Flaherty goes down, and that's unfortunate. But Owen Sieben, the first-year quarterback out of Langley, comes in and completely changes the game.
Definitely starts throwing darts from the start. That first drive takes the Rams down the field for a touchdown, and I think that really changed the whole energy It got a renewed energy going around the Rams in this football game. They went in at halftime, got situated, and completed what seemed like somewhat of an improbable comeback for this team today, considering you mentioned the penalties. Starting quarterback goes down. Didn't seem like they were finding anything on offense. Only had that punt single. And yet Braden Wagg does his thing, finishes off a couple drives led by Sieben. 2 touchdowns for the linebacker in this game. A great team effort from Regina to get their first win of the season.
Now 4 straight wins for the Rams over the Calgary Dinos. That's a monumental achievement, and Mark McConkey seems to have things settled down, at least for the time being.
Definitely.
In Regina.
And I really like the way that he coached Wagg through those situations at the end of the game, burning that clock down as far as they could to make it a difficult situation, but still some things to clean up, right? There were 2 extra points blocked. If you're the Rams and you're going to go against better teams in the Canada West, as your schedule goes along here, you can't leave points like that on the field.
Owen Sieben, very good in his first bit of action in the Canada West, and he's down in the field with Matt Young.
Here with the player of the game, Owen Sieben, and you pointed up to the stands, Owen, after you had started to walk towards the sideline following the final whistle. Who were you pointing to?
There was a guy up there that I've been teammates with for a long time. We both had the opportunity to come play here together, and it's just great to celebrate with the people you love.
Did you think you were going to get in the game today, or hope you were going to get in the game? And what did Mark McConkey say to you before you head out onto the field for the first time?
Yeah, it's an interesting spot being quarterback too, because you never want to see Bryden O'Flaherty go down with injury like that, and it was very unfortunate. But prepared all week to play if I needed to, and went out there and played.
How fast is your heart beating, and how excited are you to get the win?
I'm pretty pumped. I just want to go celebrate with the guys.
All right, thanks very much. Darren, back to you up in the booth.
All right, thank you, Matt. Owen Sieben, great game in his first bit of action, coming in emergency duty today. 187 yards, a touchdown as the Regina Rams at home this afternoon against the Calgary Dinos, a battle of 0-2 teams, and a chance to get into the 4th and final playoff spot on the line. It was 2 fresh quarterbacks, Bryden O'Flaherty making his 3rd career start in the Canada West. On the other side, Xavier Vaillancourt of the Cochrane making his 1st career start. Calgary got up early, but the Rams turned things around. Owen Sieben, the young quarterback, leads them to a 23-15 win over the Dinos at home. Rams now 1-2 and sit in the 4th and final playoff spot in the Canada West. Next week, we're off to Calgary Friday night as the Saskatchewan Huskies will visit the Calgary Dinos. Until then, on behalf of Justin Duncan, Matt Young, Dan Plaster, our producer, I'm Darren Dupont. Thanks for watching the Canada West, and so long from Regina.